Okay, we're live. We're live. We're doing it live. So we're starting this. Again, I prepared as much as I could, but I slacked off a bit here and there. But we got everything done. Everybody has their characters, and we're playing the Dark Eye, the 3rd edition. I do want to run eventually the 5th edition, but it's gonna be interesting. So let's just jump into it, okay, guys? So it is in the time calendar. So it's not, they have like an updated time element for the Aventuria, which goes like parallel to Earth. There's a little bit in the past. So this is the 30th of Hal, which is the Emperor, or 1023 after the fall of Bosporan, which is now it's the more common, but back in the day, the Hal was the more common way to show to add years. But anyway, you are in the Middle Kingdom, in the Middle Realm. You come from the way of the great port city of Havana, and all of you have your different reasons to be there. We'll tell you your motivations. Now, of course, you don't know each other's motivations, but and you're traveling. You're about to enter the small town of Gratenfels, because you have heard that there is a big celebration going on for a local. It's called the 3-day Kuperos holiday, which is a big celebration that has been started by the count about 10 plus years ago. And you're walking, and it's right at the beginning of the Kosh mountain range. Okay. And we'll just start from left to right. As you are going up, you can see the Kosh Mountains in the distance. You are on the western slopes of the mountains. And you have been traveling for quite some time. And you can see some other travelers, a lot of entertainers, merchants, craftsmen. You can see some of the honor guards from the local area. But most of them you can see are basically peasants going there for a long-awaited break from the. It's I think the 23rd of Travia. I think Travia is about spring or something. The months are named after the gods. Every god has a month. So you are walking up the street. It is. Let me see here. I have a generator for the weather. The weather. What is the weather like? It's kind of dry. There's a light wind going through, but it's okay. It's actually still nice. So there's no rain or anything. So we'll start. How should we do this? Well, I'll start from right to left from where I'm seeing, and then you just introduce your character quick, and then you'll just do your introduction, and then what is it that you're doing at the time? Okay, and then we'll go one after another quick. Okay.
Are we together, or are we
not yet? No. We'll do it where you don't know each other yet, but most of this game will be you guys interacting, starting to know each other. Okay. Maybe this will fall flat. Maybe everybody's gonna go left and right. But
Sean, what was the weather like?
It's kind of dry. It's not too cold, but there's a slight wind going.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so you can see, as I said, there's still some, the snowy slopes of the town, and we'll start with our priestess of Hizinde, played by Maike. Go ahead.
So Kizira is the very old Kizira, Hizinde priestess. She actually doesn't really look like a priestess, while she's now half bent over a merchant cart with some basically only scrap and trash for sale in there. And she's getting very close with one eye to the merchant while pointing at one of the old goblets he's having in that cart, and says, "This is not an artifact. Just so you know.
But
No,
my lady,
not.
I would never sell a priestess of Asinde not real artifacts. I know how much it is an interest of your church to collect great artifacts of history, art, and of arcane noteworthiness. And so, this is a one-in-a-lifetime deal for you, my lady.
Why would you even offer such trash to my church? You know, we keep everything in our temples.
Yes, but this is for so I can be blessed with great knowledge from your great goddess, of course.
I will bless you with the sight of my back. Turns around.
Okay. As you turn around, you bump into one of the entertainers. You can see a small troop of entertainers. Some of them are like in a group, and the other ones might be separate. You bump into a person who is Harry. Harry, please describe your character. I'm not saying he's an entertainer. There was some entertainers going, and then you bump into a person. That's what I said. Sorry. Yep.
You might confuse me as an entertainer. I'm playing Ryan, whose class is charlatan, but actually the truth is that I'm just the son of a wealthy merchant. I'm traveling around on his behalf. So forget about that charlatan stuff.
So, but what do you tell her? This old lady bumped into you.
Well, I reach into my jacket pocket and pull out a small flower and present it to her. I'm sorry, my lady. I'm so clumsy. Obviously, I wasn't the one who bumped into you, but I'm taking the credit for it. Here, let me have this. I've got a little white flower for you.
Clearly clumsy. Why don't you help an old woman over the street?
Well,
take the flower, of course.
I shake my golden mane back and put my arm out to take this lady across the street. I'm treating you as if you were, the princess of the realm, walking tall back, straight up, proudly parading you across the street.
You see on her face that's exactly what she expects you to do.
Very nice. I love it. Okay, as you're getting closer to the town, you can see more and more people like crowding together. And yeah, you can see a person that kind of sticks out of the crowd. It's not something you would see any day. Although definitely you, Harry, you stick out of the crowd too. But maybe not this day because it's a celebration. But I think all of you will stick out of the crowd. Maybe not Micah's character so far. But anyway, we have our next character, which is Ian Korvac here. Ian, go ahead, describe your character.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely sticks out because he looks lost. He looks very lost actually, as he's like bustled by these entertainers, and he's just sort of like taking in just the sounds and just the sights. It's even though it's the third day of celebration. I mean, he's been.
It's just the first day yet. It's just started. So. Yeah. People are just arriving, so it's just starting pretty much.
Absolutely. He's a black teen, in like 19 years old, and he's been adopted. Actually, his parents were slaves, and he was adopted by this wealthy magic user, actually, and sort of raised since the age of like 9 with her. And basically, this is like the first time he sort of like left home. Most teens would have left, I don't know, maybe 14 or much younger.
probably I would think that you were adopted by him, because in the middle realm slavery is forbidden, but in some of the southern realms, in the Amphian area, which is there, it is definitely legal. Of course, with who's decided to be a citizen, and there's different things. So that's why you're here. So definitely a rare sight for most.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Mohan sort of just tries to you see he's just trying to just like center himself as best as possible, but he's pretty lost in this
Yeah.
northern thing.
Yeah. Although at this point, people do look at you like a little bit, but then there's a lot of other colorful characters there, people in costumes and masks and all this stuff. So so everybody kind of those people stick out too. So people all are like excited, or also kind of getting there. A lot of them are very simple peasant folk. So anyway, so let's enter Philip's character.
Okay. So you guys see this rapscallion little boy. He has a cowlick in the back of his blonde hair, and he's with a troop of these other young kids. And he's leading them through this countryside, and they approach up to this small tent, and the boy lifts the curtain, and they all share mischievous looks. As they walk into the tent, the boy turns to them. Oh, here's the old fat man. We'll get into his pockets and steal his coin. And as a beam of sunlight enters into the tent, you see this old man asleep upon a bench, and he looks like a boulder. He's about 620 pounds. There's a huge, bushy beard. I almost imagine Santa Claus in a suit of armor. And he's snoring wildly. And in his hand, he has a cup of wine. And on his beard, there's bits of crumbs and food. And the young kids go over to sneak over into his pocket. And what they find are debts, receipts, IOUs, the wings of a butterfly, and a certain ring. It's his family's ring. And he's actually very covetous over this ring. It's made of copper. And as they go and take it, he starts up. Oh, young wag, what are you doing? And that's Hal Sagpike.
Very good. Okay, and last but certainly not least, Todor, who is excited, I know, because he is pretty much the #1 dark eye person on the OSG.
After you, my lord.
Oh, thank you.
All right, so among the streets, you see a peculiar sight, a elf, but it's not the typical elf that you would see who are mingling among people. This one is barefoot. His feet are muddy. He's barely dressed as well, and he is fabulous. He is hot. He is sizzling hot. His hair is always floating into the wind, even when there's no wind. It's blonde, but with reddish hues, and it goes down to his waist. And it may be the first day of celebrations, but for him it's been a week or so. He came into town to meet with a what is known as a gnome, but basically these are dwarven druids, and he had a meeting with him to exchange some knowledge about some herbs and some mushrooms and other drugs. He's been partying with this gnome for a while, for a week before the celebrations began, and now he just lost him somewhere in the crowd, but he doesn't care because he's just jumping around and singing and dancing among the crowds, and he's just being so fabulous and sexy and has no really care in the world, which you don't usually see in a wood elf, because they really are not that outgoing. They're mostly secluded, and if they see other people or dwarves, they'll be like, these are just some folks that do not deserve, they're like animals or anything. But this guy is just so drunk or high or whatever, you don't know. and he's just singing and dancing around the crowds and having a good time, and just like the movie Hair in like the very beginning, where the hippies are dancing in the Central Park. That's him.
Very nice. People
Woodstock elf.
Yes. Woodstock elf, exactly. Not wood elf, Woodstock elf. Yes.
Thank you.
And so the people definitely look at you, like you definitely stick out, because these are some very secluded people living in the woods and in the thing, and they heard of elves, but mostly not good things. You have this old lady come there, and she says like, "Yeah, don't go around stealing the children and the girls. You nasty, pointy-eared, knife-eared." It's like a little stick.
I go out to her, and I'm so quick and agile that she couldn't really react. But I go out and just grab her by one hand and by the waist, and I do a little twirl, but not too much, so that I can break her back or anything, because she's like 80. And then I kiss her on the forehead, and I just go on my dance and prowling through the crowd.
Help! The elf has cursed me. Help! You can see some peasant boys coming. Hey, elf! Leave my grandmother alone.
But before they can, catch up to me, I'm like, when there's a crowd and you can just go through the crowd.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, it's almost like mystical magic or something.
Exactly. You just walked in between the acrobats and the entertainers and the jesters, and they definitely have no problem with you. Some of them might be half elves or something. You don't know. But they definitely have no problem with you, and you can definitely flow in between those guys. Maybe not between the more superstitious peasants and stuff like that, but between those guys, you don't even stick out. You actually literally disappear in a way.
Maybe some of them were at the party when me and the gnome were
probably. You have this one guy
experimenting with drugs.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Some stuff. Yep. I actually have Aventurian drugs printed out too. Like, I gotta check that out then. Good. Perfect. So as you are moving, you're just in front of the gate. You can see some of the wagons go in. There's quite a few, but there is a specific 3 wagons you can see, and they are pretty big, even for wagon standards, and you can. And the reason why you look at that wagon suddenly, because you can hear a big, like a monstrous roar, like. And it is loud out of this one wagon, and the wagon is like shivering. And as you look at the wagons, all 3 of you, including you, Philip, the night has left you peeked out of your tent in order to see what the hell is going on. Even you are woken out of your slumber or your feast, and you can see the wagon in front. Every one of the wagon has a big red and yellow, pretty ghastly sign on it, which says, "The Bizarre Beasts of Buras." So you're guessing it's some sort of animal show or something, and you can see the kids saying, "They have real monsters in there! Yay! We will see real monsters! Yay!" A little peasant boy, so excited. And then you can see his mother like pull her back. You be careful. And you can see in the front wagon, you can see one guy. He's most likely a dwarf, quite small, and he's pretty. He's got an eye patch, and he's like older, and he's pretty gruff looking, like he's seen some shit. And he has a top hat, an old top hat. That is on the side, kind of sitting there, and he's just kind of looking at everybody like, and he's just like just hitting his horse to go forward through the gate. And the gates are huge. The gates and the walls are huge at this point. For a town this size, it doesn't make sense that the gate and the walls are this big. It seems like the builders were planning on a great war, but this is a small town, really. It's very atypical for a town like that. And there's some faded insignia on the gate. You're not quite sure what it is. It could be one of the old previous count's name. And on the second wagon, you can see a Thorwallian, which is like it's the Arventurian version of a Viking. And this one has red hair. He's got a big beard. Also kind of a bit older, a little bit, but he's more nervous looking. He's got a big dragon tattoo, which is quite common with Thorwallians. And he's kind of looking around a bit nervous. And in the third one, you can see a woman about her 40s, and she's just scarred all over, like she's seen some shit. She's literally like holding a crossbow, a small crossbow, and looking at people, kind of pointing it at them. But then when she sees a guard, she kind of puts the crossbow away, and she's holding the stirrup for the horse. Anyway, so yeah, so you enter the marketplace, and you enter Gratenfels. It is about like 10 in the morning, and the festivities are just about to beginning. You can see many different entertainers. You can see, I'd say it's actually not 10, it's about noon. You can see many different entertainers. You can see many stands that sell all kinds of sweets and foods. There's all kinds of smells. By the way, talking about smells, from that 3 wagons, you could smell definitely something very horrid and wretched, a wretched smell. It smells pretty bad. And you've heard some people say that Gratenfels has some sulfur mines, or like sulfur stuff, which makes it also has, at certain areas, has a pretty bad smell. But you could definitely say that smell came from the 3 wagons, from that beast wagon thing. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say. So you entered the town. What do you want to do? You're at the marketplace.
Yeah, I imagine Mohan, or he goes by that name anyway. His eye was on this elf that was just twirled this lady around, just dipped her, kissed her, and just like danced on. And the only reason his gaze moved from him was because of the sound that came from the middle one of these wagons.
It was actually the last one, the third one, had the big sound.
Absolutely, and he just gently puts his hand on the side of a small boy and just moves him to the side as he moves closer towards this wagon. That's it.
Okay. You could see the woman who is at the third one looking at you and we're not ready to start the show yet. She just kind of looks at you and has the crossbow on her side. It's like a one-handed crossbow on this side, like a light crossbow of some sort.
He stops moving forward and he just nods understandingly, looking at the scars on her face.
It's also a very wretched smell, and they don't seem to notice even. It is horrific. Like if Todor would be here, like he's gone at the moment, but it is quite horrific. It's like rotten eggs or something. Like I don't know. It's pretty bad. And you can see that as you get closer to the wagon, you can see the wagon like it's like moving, like there's something huge in it, you know. And you can see it is made out of a very thick oak, and there's even some iron fastens that make like iron parts in it that make it more stable. And it's like moves, and you can hear something moving inside, and you can hear some like some grumbles, something like that. There's something really big in there.
Yeah. I mean, he puts his head to his nose, which doesn't cover the stench at all, but even now he starts to feel like a knot in his stomach as not fear, but almost like this kind of excitement mixed with fear.
As you go there, you know, you also went kind of in the direction of our elf friend here. Our elf friend, you know, you are hit by the smell more harder than anyone else, since you have a very sensitive nose, and you are not able to get closer at that point, but you just wait a little bit, and as you do, you kind of bump into what it was, Ian's character, right?
As I bump into him, I look him up and down. And by the way, since can I use the knowledge of my old kin, so that I can call him by his like real racial name? Moha is like the name that the Middle Realm has given to all the people in the southern regions, but they're actually very diverse, and only the most.
It's just like it's one of the biggest tribes. There's multiple tribes.
But they started calling all of them Mohan. So
yeah. I don't know if you would know about them. I would make you roll for that, since you have been pretty. I mean, you have been partying, I guess, but you might be familiar with Thorwallians and Middle Realmers and stuff, but unless you have read about like Moha people or Moha tribes.
My guy is a bit clever. Let's see. What do I know about history? Is -1. All right.
History, well, -1 is not so bad. So just roll 3 dice, and it's like you can see your 3 attributes that you need to roll.
Yes. The thing is, what does -1 mean?
Like every roll you do, you have to add a like if you say like okay.
So I failed on the first one.
Okay, so let's say what was the first one?
It was a 15.
But what was your stat that you have to roll for your attribute?
It was a 13. So
okay, so now with the -1, you have to roll not under a 13. You have to roll under a 12, so it's harder.
So then I succeed because my other rolls are an 11 and a 5.
No. What was the other attribute?
All of them are 13. All my 3 attributes I have to roll against 13.
Hey, guys, maybe it's a good time to go over how attribute rolls are done.
That's actually a good idea. Thank you. But, so attribute rolls, and pretty much all of the rolls are done like this. It's basically you have your attributes, and under 10 is below average, 10 is average, and then everything above 10 is like better. And when I tell you to do a courage roll or a strength roll or an intelligence roll, which they call cleverness here, but it's the CL. It's basically intelligence or charisma or any one of that. You gotta roll the target number with a D20 or under to succeed. And if you roll over the target number, you fail. And the way how your talents, your skills work is that if you have numbers in the positive, that means like, let's say you have to roll, dancing, then you have three attributes you have to roll for. And let's say you have a 12 in one, but you roll, let's say you have 1 in dancing, and you have to roll a 12 or under, but you roll 13, then you can take that number and take it off from there to fix the roll. Okay? So if you have like a 10 in it, then you have 10 to roll. If you have a minus, then you have to make it harder by that number. So it's like so instead of like if it's a -5, then every attribute roll you do is like at minus. Well, the difficulty is like, what's that? Oh yeah. So great remembering. Haven't played for 20 years, so I always thought to fix it, but to actually to make it harder is actually so okay, so so you have to add, like, let's say you have -5, so you have to add in total 5 in total to your roll. So that means instead of like
so is the total of our 3 dice, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not the total. You have to roll under every attribute separately.
And
then you use, and then the bonus you use to fix the roll separately.
And if it's a minus, if it's a minus, how do you fix it then? How do you compensate if it's a minus?
Yeah, 1 second. I think I know it. I just want to be sure. So let's say here, I just roll here. I have it here set up with my little program. And let's say here, So like if it's 4 minus 4, then that means that in total I have to add that number on your roll. You know, let's say I say the roll is at -3. That means you'll have a 1 on every roll, an extra one. Like instead of 13, you got to roll under like 12.
But if I still fail one of my rolls,
then it's failed. Then it's failed.
All right,
yeah.
Cool. So I failed.
So yeah, you failed.
Yep.
So you don't know where he's from, but he's definitely not local. You can say that much. But that's, you know.
So basically,
so Mohan, go.
So basically, how we roll. If you have a positive, you can compensate your rolls if you roll over your attribute. But if you have a negative, you cannot compensate, and you still have to roll that number under.
Exactly, and I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just to tell everyone else how I quickly roll my the dark eye checks, because it's 3 dice instead of rolling them one after the other. I roll my 3 dice in my tray, and then I count them left to right towards skills that I have to roll under. If you look at your talent, it needs cleverness, intelligence. Cleverness, intuition, and charisma. Then I look at my furthest to the left, and then I go for the first one that is there, and then my second is like right there, and then my third is there.
So basically, this makes like skill rolls and spell rolls a bit harder. Combat is just 1 roll. Like you have only attack and parry. That is 1 roll. You still roll under. You still roll under your attack and parry, but it's just 1 roll. So yeah.
Yeah, but skills and spells are against 3 attributes instead of just 1 number. All right, so I failed to recognize him. Then it means that I call him by a different name, which might even be offensive.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, exactly.
And I look him up and down. I'm probably taller than him, and I look him up and down, and that might sound offensive to you, like, I'm Moha.
And as we bashed in to each other, he says, sorry, I apologize, he says. And then he smiles as you see him looking at your blonde hair with these, like, your red tinges, as he thinks of his adopted mother, actually. And he says, who also has, also has blonde hair. And he says, I saw you dancing earlier. Beautiful. Says. And then he looks over back towards where this stench is coming from. What do you think's in there?
Something that my people cannot bear. And you can see him like putting his hand over his nose and like doing this fancy thing.
You're basically close to puking, let's be honest, as an elf. So.
Yes, and I'm trying to hide it by, doing this like a Eurasian empire. Think of a French aristocrat from the 17th century. No, this is too much to bear.
So suddenly we have Kisira and our not charlatan arrive, and Ryan arrive. Finally, took her forever, and as they arrive, behind them, a big hulking figure clad in armor kind of tumbles through, and that would be Philip's character.
Do you mind if I give these young boys who try to pickpocket me a lesson?
Good spanking.
So
do what you feel like.
Young sweet prince of Poppery, let me tell you the story of a large and attractive girl who was made fun of all of her days because she was overweight. Well, her mother came into a city council and told her, because of the bullying, that she had hung herself during the night. And the young lad looks up at the big fat man and says, God, it must have been a strong rope. There's no teaching these children these days. There's something rotten here. And it's something horrible. What is that smell? He looks at the back of his pants.
You see this? You see this? This guy there. He's about like a bit short of a guy, but definitely human. He's got like the brown hair, and you can definitely see he's like on the sun a lot and whatever. And he's got this apron on, and he's got this small like thing, and he's holding it, and it's kind of like you have this bad smell come in, but then you have a quite sweet and intoxicating smell. And he says, "Sweet cakes, get your sweet cakes." Just one
I
copper
shuffle
piece.
up there, my blubber bouncing back and forth. The ground slightly rumbles as I make my way.
By the way, everybody,
Jack, sweet cake.
It's just one It's just one copper per sweet cake.
Oh, one copper. Oh my! I look down into my purse. Moths fly out.
Very good.
Tell me, good lord. I stroke my beard. What must a man do for one of these sweet, delicious cakes?
Are you like Wimpy from Popeye but with cakes? Anyway, yeah. Well, you have to pay for them. We at the bakery have been slaving all day for these. It's special. It's a copper. You seem like a rich lord a knight, right?
Yes, I am. I've done many great and noble things for this land. You should give me a cake for all the great and noble things that I did. Just today, I fought off 8 rapscallions who tried to pickpocket me, sir.
Okay.
Through my doublet, 12 times they stabbed.
Okay, continue. But yeah, continue.
8 times they stabbed me through my doublet. They bounced clubs against my head, and yet I fought them off. I fought them off for good shopkeepers like yourself. So I'm rolling like a d20.
Yeah, it's 3 d20s. So it's like you have to roll intuition and twice charisma.
All right, so that's a 3, a 5, and
that's very good.
Is that good?
Yeah, your charisma is 8, 3, and then intuition is 9, 5, and what was the third one?
I have a 3, 5, 3.
Yeah, you that's a very good roll. He says, "Well, you are indeed. I think I've heard of you, brave knight, sir." And
it is not, Sir Hal Sagpike.
Sir Sagpike, of course. Here, have some any piles on some of the sweet cakes on you. They're like little donuts, like.
So I have like these fat sausage fingers. But I poke a hole in one and like stuff it in my mouth.
Mike, they're Krapfen. That's what they are. Like and they're in different things. So your hands are all like sticky and stuff, but you're like, he gives you 4, and it's like we have a stand at the marketplace. We have a big deal. We've been working on these for quite some time. So we have all sorts of with different fillings, with different fruits, some with sugar on them, some with this weird thing they brought from the south, this chocolat. I don't know what they call it, but it's quite tasty. I got to tell you, some with honey. So we got all sorts of types.
You know how to make a merry man merry.
Yes.
Tell me, sir, do you have something I could quench this hot stickiness in my mouth? Don't make me buff my jerkin, sir.
Well, there's the brothel. I'm just out of character.
Oh, you have a leap house here, sir.
No. This is out of character strictly. He says, "Well, there's all kinds of stands. Look there. They're selling Ferdok, light beer. You could have some of that." And then he like, I really must be going. Sorry, my sir, but I gotta sell my sweet cakes. So, but this man there, I know him. He's very good. This is my good friend Boris. He sells this very good Ferdoker beer.
Well, to Boris I go.
Yeah, you see this big man. He's got a big beard, and he's like definitely has a darker beard.
Is his belly bigger than mine?
And he's got a weird hat going on, and he's got a bit of a like. He looks like a like almost like a Finnish, like a Sami, had a child with a Mongolian kind of thing. So he's also not native, but he's like, well, how can I help you? I'm Boris.
Well, have you ever seen one of those grandfather clocks that have a pendulum on the inside?
Yeah.
Now, just instead of the pendulum, imagine that's my belly walking up to the man.
Your armor is like squeaking, like it's like so loose, at this point, so your gut is like hanging out partially. But anyway,
man told me I could find a cup of sack here. True.
You can for one heller, that's a quarter. You can have a mug of beer. Sure, it's special. It's quite good.
What if I sweep up? How much?
Why would you sweep up? You seem like some kind of lord. I'm sure you got money for that.
No, I mean, I thought there might be some rapscallions around here that might need to have their heads dusted.
Oh, you cannot start anything. The guards are here now. They're all around town. But anyway, we'll stop here as you're discussing about sweeping heads. We'll go back to the other guy. We'll go back to Micah, her old lady, and the not charlatan.
Well, this smell is awful. So there's only one thing to do. I'm going to try
the wagons are going more distance, so it is heading off. And there's lots of other stalls with cooking meat and sweets and all kind of stuff, and then alcohol and So it's being phased out slowly.
I'm before it starts to leave, I'm going to try to dispel the stench with the Weinrauch rose.
Okay, very good. Yeah.
So help me out here. The first time, it's got three things in parentheses. IN is intelligence, otherwise known as Klugheit, or is that intuition?
Yes. Give me a second. Klugheit is your intelligence. That's cleverness. I think that should be the second. That's right after courage. That should be that. Yes.
The thing says IN, and I'm not sure if that's probably intuition, I guess.
IN is intuition.
Yeah. It's your auris nasus. It's okay. You got a -4 in that. So
hold on. Where are you getting this from?
I have it here written down. I got everything here. I have a little program with your character sheets. The one that I made the characters with. Okay, so it is cleverness. It is intelligence. Let me see here. Your character.
You got the wrong spell though. I'm talking about the last spell.
Okay. So Weihrauch, yeah. So that's intuition. Yes, that's the third one.
Intuition, charisma, and then what's FF?
That's that should be. It wasn't that translated. I should have translated that. But anyway, that should have been not dexterity. Yeah, the dexterity. Yes.
I think it's dexterity.
Yeah.
Okay, so I roll 3 dice.
Just right after charisma.
Yeah. The rightmost column says vert. Is that like my skill at casting the spell?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so I'm a 0 at that. I got a 2 on the first die, which is lower than.
That's very good. Low is good. Yes, low is good. And 2 is very good.
The second die is against charisma, which I rolled an 18.
Okay, 18.
Nothing I can do to fix that, I don't think.
You still have like -2, so actually you got 0, so it's either or. So roll the third one just for a good measure. Like 18, you cannot fix it, so you don't have to because
against dexterity of 12. So that one failed barely.
So describe how your spell fails, pretty much. Although at the beginning it did well, but you weren't quite sure about it, so.
So when a spell fails, does it backfire?
No, it doesn't. I mean, there's some rules, but no, it just doesn't work. Like the only time I would say it would backfire for me is if you would roll 3 20s, but that's very rare, so don't even worry about it.
When you cast a spell in this system, are you?
Oh yeah, you have the astral points, of course. Yes. Yeah. So as you do the spell, I think you lose half of the what is it here? Okay, now I think this one is still, what is it? Just checking here so I can find it. Yes, illusion. There we go. There we go. Yes. Okay, so you lose 4 astral points. It costs 8 astral points, but you failed it, so you lose half of it.
Okay, so it looks like I got 25, and that replenishes every day?
It replenishes just like your health. It's about like you roll 1d6 when you sleep.
1d6 per
when
day?
you rest. Yes, yes.
Okay.
It's like
so-
you don't memorize spells, but therefore you got a pool, just like with psionics in D&D. Which is, I like it that way because then you don't have to always memorize what you
I
might
hate
need.
memorizing spells. So how do I know how many points a spell costs to cast? Is it always 8?
It is written here. It is always 8. Yes, I will. Yes, it is always 8. There's some spells that have different kind of spells. I will write it down for next time, and I apologize with the spells, but I will have it out. So
we're learning.
We're learning. Yes, I haven't ran this in almost 20 years, so, but it's like there's some spells I know pretty much by heart, but even then, for the cost, I gotta check because some you can modify, especially some of the combat spells. You can modify how strong they are. Okay.
So when I cast a spell, I'm saying like Latin-y words and
yes,
making
yes.
Is that right? Right.
Yes.
So
It says here the technique is that zum Streich mit der rechten Hand kurz über die Nase. Oh, some of them you say the spell incantation. Some of them you just. It says Weihrauchrose Wohlgeruch Blütenduft aus Hand und Tuch. It's like you just slowly just put a hand over your nose and then over the whole body. So
okay. All right. So I'm doing that, standing here next to Quizira. We're walking along, and the smell! And I try to do this flourish, and instead of what I expect to happen, the kind of almost aura of clean rose smell coming off of me, there's like little sort of sputter of sparks and a smell of kind of brimstone as these little sparks fall to the ground and get lost in the mud.
And the sparks almost make it slightly worse, almost, just slightly.
Yeah. And I look away and look over there, they're selling food.
Yeah, I look away too, wrinkling my wrinkly nose.
It becomes extra wrinkly.
Mm.
And you have another guy, actually a girl about 16, a young girl with like sorry, my lady, would you like a refreshing iced tea?
Is it free? Of course it is free.
But it's
Thank you. And I take the glass.
She looks like a little upset.
Such a nice girl. What do you think?
And she's like, okay. And then she just walks away, just a little bit, doesn't know to be intimidated or feel sorry for the old lady. And she goes to the next customer. And you have a small, like, it's like some kind of simple wooden cup, but it's like almost their version of a cup you can throw away. It's just like out of a thin wood, just kind of formed, kind of thing. Since they don't have plastic, but yeah. Or they would give it in like simple, what is it? Made out of, what is it? I can't talk anymore. Anyway, it's some kind of cup, just whatever it is, what you want. It's some sort of very thin paper or almost paper wooden cup. There we go. I'll go with that. Okay, so yeah. Is there anything in particular you want to look around in? So anyway, yeah, your motivations. I just want to say that quick. Just quick. I'm just going to go really quick because I wanted to tell you beforehand. But Micah, you have been asked. It's kind of, you're not very popular at the temple, if you know what I'm saying. So
that's why I'm gone now.
They pulled a Mr. Bean on you. You know, like you remember when Mr. Bean in the movie, he's working for this gallery, and they need to send somebody, and they can't stand him, so they send him. You know, so you have to visit this magister, Baltasios. He's this this older. He's a mage and he's a scholar. Especially, he specializes in crystal mancy.
Yeah, bullshit.
Anyway, you're supposed to pick up. He's been working on a book on that topic, and it hasn't been released yet. And you want to get like a first edition copy for the temple.
For free.
Well, yeah, it's supposed to be like you have gotten some money, and you can go to the local temples with your clout with your as a priestess to go and maybe like send for some money or whatever. There's no Hacinda temple, you know that, but there's some other temples. And
for free.
For free, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, for free. Yeah, we know the charlatan. You just want to party, pretty much. And Ian, your character, he's here to explore. Like everything is new to him and alien and very different, very cold, very a lot of pale faces. It's a lot of mountains, although there's some mountains there where you come from too. So, but more jungles and stuff and deserts and whatever. So, anyway, although probably you've seen now lots, but you know, anyway. And Philip, we know he just parties. I said, and you, Mr. Elf, Mr. Party Elf, Todor, you have been given by your good friend Silverian Hawkwing before you went on your party trip. You have come to this place with a reason, although you might not really remember it, but you were supposed to meet up and greet this Baltasius fellow because this elf, like about 20 years ago or so, he used to be friends with him. They went on adventures, and he sends him a gift, and it's a small horn flute made out of a horn. Horn flute made out of a horn, of course. And yeah, so this is your motivation. So
sorry, what kind of fellow do I have to meet?
Magister Baltasius. He's a quite well-renowned mage and scholar.
And he hails from what place? Like he's
in this town where you just arrived, Gratenfels.
He lives here.
Yes, that's why you were going in this direction. In this general direction.
Human?
He's
Jesus.
a human. Yes.
Jesus. Why is my friend dealing with humans?
Well, he went adventuring once when he was younger. You know, so.
Like we all do, yeah, from time to time. Yeah.
Well, you know, elves go out of their woods sometimes, you know, like and interact with city elves or humans even.
Do elves shit in the woods?
They shit in the woods, yes.
But
anyway,
personally, of course, I had to meet this dwarven gnome Geld kind of person just to exchange, you know, their plants, their mushrooms against our plants. As well.
Yes.
My second goal.
Anyway, so is there anything specific you wanna? Oh yeah, you wanna go before we go on? I wanna go to the next part, so to speak.
Unless I have to like find a special tavern or something that I have to go to.
No, not necessarily, but you might want to check a tavern to have a place to sleep.
Yeah, but no. I don't sleep in confined spaces. Like I have claustrophobia. I have to.
Okay. Well, for the others then, whoever wants to sleep in a tavern.
The thing is, do I know more about where do I find this person?
You can ask the locals. He said like he lives there. He doesn't remember exactly. It's a small town. It's like just about over 1,000 people.
Typical of elves, you know. He was high when he met him.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Well, unless I was thinking of stirring some shit up, because the only reason these animals smell to me is because they are held in a confined space. So I was kind of thinking of freeing them up, but maybe I'll just find my person first, and then I'll just deal with the animals. I didn't like animals kept in captivity and that kind of stuff.
Well, you do see, as you guys have been moving around, you haven't been really sticking together, but you have noticed a scream as you have gone around. There has an hour went by, and all of you have done your thing. Maybe you looked around the shops. Maybe you got something to eat or drink. It's up to you. But you hear a scream, and you see a lady screaming, and you can see one of the guards standing with his halberd in front of him, and he's kind of in terror, and you can see a big viper, a big snake that seems to be somebody must have knocked over a basket of some sort of one of the showmen or some sort, and the snake comes out, and yeah.
Cool.
So do you guys do something? Do you intervene?
Yes, I want to tame the snake.
Very good.
I will take out my flute and I'll start, whipping up some fine tunes with the flute.
Wait, there is actually something for that. You know the Elven songs?
I know a lot of Elven songs,
But those are magical songs. So.
I don't know if you put any magical songs among my...
I haven't, but I think you know them all as elves do.
Because, each time on summer solstice, I meet with my fellow elves, and then we dance naked in the forest, and we bond. Wait. And we sing a lot. So do you want me to use tame animals, or would you allow me to substitute it with singing?
You can do, actually, it's called the Song of Peace.
Nice.
You can you have to do a +5 musical roll.
Can it be just singing or musical instruments?
Well, it can be singing too. It can be singing.
Thank you, because I have a +6.
No. It can be also singing. I just said music.
Just music. All right,
so you can do singing, yes. So that's how it is. It's a -5. You have a +6. So now you have a +1. That's how it works. Now I remember.
All right, so +1 on.
So instead of
cleverness, intuition, and charisma.
Yeah. So you have 1 point to fix. So.
I just passed. I used my 1 to fix my 14 into a 13.
Very nice.
I just passed.
So before we continue with that, I'll tell you. And for the first hour, will cost you 10 astral points. But what do the other guys do for as you can see the snake going?
Yeah, Mohan sort of runs over a couple of kids and the woman fallen down as they're trying to scramble back, as most of the crowd sort of scramble back after the scream, seeing the snake and stuff. Sort of helps up this child from the floor, and as he's hearing this beautiful tune being played, and he sees again the center of attention, this blonde-haired elf, and he sort of smiles. And he just sort of, all he's going to do now is just help people back.
Very good, very good. The child smiles at you and is happy, and what do the others do?
What does my boy toy do?
What does your boy toy do? I love it. You're like the sugar mama because you're the older one.
Yeah, the sugar mama won't spend any money. Well, obviously we need money. So I'm streetwise.
Yes.
There's a commotion going on, right?
Yes, yes.
All eyes are turned to the snake and the French elf. There must be a.
Oh, you want to steal some money? Nice.
That's right. I say to you, just wait here, and if anything happens, just make a ruckus.
Very, very good. Okay, so you want to go and do some good old-fashioned pickpocketing, I'm guessing, right?
I'm thinking that probably some market stall. The person has been momentarily distracted from the till.
Yeah, okay. So that would be Taschen, Diebstahl or something like that, I think. Yeah, where did I have it here? There we go. There we go. Okay. So it's in crafts, because as we know, this is a craft. Yeah, Taschendiebstahl. We'll just say that. Okay, you got a 0 in it, so that means you don't have any bonuses, but you don't have any negatives.
Mm-hmm.
Are you looking for like a big fat purse full of coins?
Yes.
Okay, you can
There's
see
one there.
you could see as the commotion starts, first the snake, and then one before we go on. I just want to ask Philip, what do you do with the whole snake, and then suddenly the elf starts singing?
I approach my donkey. The shadow falls over him like an eclipse. And the donkey looks up with me with fear in his eyes, and his knees start trembling.
Yes, he knows what's coming.
I gather up my lance and I throw down my helm.
I love it. So you're like going full Don Quixote. I love it. So okay, so roll for your thieving skill, and then I'll tell what happens with the singing. Okay. So
Okay.
everything happens at once. So you see a trader, a Tulamid. The Tulamids, they're like the I think they're like the Turks. Yes, they're like the Turks or Arabians. I think that, and then there's a different. Yeah, they live in the desert. Yes, I'm mixing up. So Tulamid, Arabian guy. He looks very rich. He's got fine silken clothing, and he's selling jewelry. But you're not so interested in jewelry because he has people looking at that. But there is a pouch full of what you're just guessing, coins.
Yes, and I rolled a 19, 19, 15.
Oh.
Your sugar mama's got to save you now.
You know what? Fex smiles at you. You failed the stealing, but since everybody, I'll be really nice because I represent the gods, and Fex is the gods of thieves. And Fex is like since everybody's looking at they're fascinated by the beautiful song. Now, if just would the snake be that, if just the snake would have been there, would have been different. But we have our beautiful elven voice singing, and they're so distracted by the song of peace that you can just take the money. So you get about 7. Let's make it 20 gold coins, 20 ducats.
Can I make a suggestion? Since I failed so badly, but I'm getting a reward anyway, maybe I leave behind something that could be traced back to me. Like
Okay,
a
sure.
feather off of my hat or something like that falls, and I don't realize it.
Sure. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, and now Todor, please describe you singing.
All right, so
you remove 10 astral points, right?
Yep,
Per
I
hour.
did.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Per hour. Yeah.
Yes. So for a whole hour. Yeah. You can stop singing but if you can continually do it, like for example, you could do it to try to calm multiple monsters, even armies or something. You could try it, But
so
go ahead.
the moment I saw that, you see this elf just dashing through the crowds and just jumping, and mid-jump he takes out his flute from his backpack. And all of a sudden, all this dashing, just the movement, which seemed to be in anger, just calms down in a moment. You know, it's like magic. He starts singing, and the moment he starts, the first notes from his flute just go through the crowds, and everyone just suddenly stops and listens. A woman who was just about to slap her child stops like mid slap because he was just whining kid. But this whining kid just also stops whining and just, you know, starts smiling at his mother and just grabs her by her skirt. Other such things happen all around the elf as well.
There's actually a perfect reason. We'll say this, Harry. Your character, he was caught, but because the Song of Peace was, the Tulamid says, may Rashula bless you with this, and may I have more of this, and may you buy many good things for good friends. You know, otherwise he would have probably taken out his dagger or sent his goons after you for sure.
Two lovers nearby were like mid quarrel, and she was about to leave him, but later on they had a baby.
Yes. They jump in the next woods or something.
Yeah. So he stands just in between the big snake and
they suddenly this is what happened, right? She was about to slap him, that she slaps him, and then she takes him and kisses him, and then they run. They almost knock over Mohan and Quizira. Mohan is just looking like, what the hell? And Quizira is like, yeah, you know, and then they just disappear in some of the bushes.
To have the baby, of course.
Yeah.
And then I just stand between the big snake and the woman, and then the snake just looks in my eyes, and I look in its eyes, on her eyes. It turns out to be a woman, a female snake who is pregnant. And then my song reminds her of the jungles that she left, and she was basically forcefully taken out of. And then she sees me as her, not as her captor, but as a saver. It was a knocked over, you know. It was a snake, right?
It was a bigger snake. It wasn't like the really big snake. I think it was like a
boa.
Yeah, a little smaller than a boa, not a boa constrictor. It's
python?
Like a viper.
Python. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, smaller than a python, more like a rattlesnake size, but it's not a rattlesnake.
But then the people who, you know, kept her, they are coming over to get it back. But then I look at them and start singing to them about how freedom is the most important thing in life and how they shouldn't be doing that. And basically what I'm trying to do is like get the snake for, you know, to free the snake or get it as...
So they agree with you. Yes, of course. We will let out this poisonous snake into the wild because that's where it needs to be. So it can find other friends.
It won't be in the wild. It will be with me. And then I just remember seeing this black person in the crowd just a moment ago. And then I said, me and him will get it back to its rightful place in the jungle. You know,
okay,
brothers.
Okay. Right now, the snake will follow you because you're doing the Song of Peace. But you'll have to care for it and everything, and you'll have the loyalty checks and everything. But we'll do this later. Don't worry.
Can I do a tame animal later on?
Okay, yes, later on. No, yeah. We'll not worry about it now. It's calm now. As long as you're not hurting it or anything, it should be fine. You know.
Yeah, but then I'll move over to
you can put it in your
because my lie has to, you know, hold. You know,
yeah. So you turn over to Mohan, and
so
Mohan
to him is like. Now I whispered into his ear. Now we have a snake, and in order to get it out of here, we have to stick together. You know. You're okay with that?
I love it. That's very good.
Mohan says, "I came here seeking adventure. It seems you seem to be the center of adventure." It says.
Yeah. Although you look.
You see that. It's...
Go ahead. Yeah. Sure.
Oh, no.
It was a captive, just maybe like you were. I'm just guessing before I came here. So we'll do this, right? Yes.
He looks offended when you say that. How he's he's sort of like assimilated since he was since young, actually.
Yeah, that's my elf. He doesn't. He has like very lack of social skills. He's like.
Yeah, he seems to be very lacking in that. So, or your etiquette is very like -7 or something.
And generally, even if it wasn't, like elves are like socially, like lacking. They don't understand how humans work.
Mohan says, "I'm impressed with your playing. How did you learn this? I mean, look at the crowd. It says even now they're still affected in some way. I mean, my heart is touched."
I can show you, but it has to be midsummer and we have to be naked in the woods. So if you stick with me, I'll tell you about it later. So you now just stick with me. Get this snake out of here. And I'll tell you.
The captain comes to you guys, since you've been the only group that has been kind of lumped together at this moment. Quizera, you've been looking more out of scientific interest, strictly, you know, and also looking if what else has been going on there, just making sure. And he says, hey, a singing elf, a mighty knight, and he points at Philip. Seems like a Moha warrior, I believe. And is this a mage? He points at you, Harry. And a priestess? You must be heroes worth nothing. You must be noteworthy heroes for defeating a snake without even hurting it. I'm the captain of the guard. My name is Artho of the Marsh, and I would like to thank you. I would like to invite you to my fiance's house, Lena Baltes. What is his name again? Yeah, Baltesius. Right. We can eat at her father's home. It is quite renowned.
For free?
Of course, for free. I was stopped in my fear of this poisonous snake, and you have defeated it without even hurting it.
Oh yes, I did. Great stories will be told.
Yes. I see the sign of the snake. I wasn't sure yet. I wasn't sure if you were a priestess, but I can clearly see now that your wisdom has brought these heroes together.
I show a toothless smile.
And he bows to you, you know, holding his hand on the halberd, and he bows to you. You all must come tonight when I'm off duty, and then we can meet at the Temple of Rondra. And he points where it is. He shows you where it is. Sadly, you cannot sleep at my fiance's father's house. He has a guest already. However, there is still an inn with room. It's called the Wild Unicorn. It's on the eastern end of the city. I can recommend it. So, but yeah, meet me at the Rondra temple about like 7 or 8, and my shift ends. And then he bows down and he walks away.
Excellent.
Before he walks away, if anybody wants to say something, I was just rambling on. If anybody wants to tell him anything, go ahead.
Is this a Wild Unicorn Tavern? Is this a place where a man might find a sheath for his sword?
He looks kind of suspicious at you. Are you implying prostitution, good sir? I hope you speak only in jest.
Yes, I'm no whore master.
My toothless smile goes over to you.
Or do you actually, or do you actually asking for a sheath for your sword? And he points at your bastard sword, because of course I gave you a bastard sword. Because I was thinking about that.
I might have a bastard sword, but I am no bastard.
You can just call it a 1.5 hander. So.
It's a 2-hander. Oh my god.
It's actually just shorter because it's really cold water.
Well, it's the girth that counts.
No, my last name is Sagpike.
Anyway, he's like, I'm sure something can be arranged, good sir. I mean, it's not something as the captain of the guard would inform you, but since you have done a great deed where I failed, I will look the other way.
Wait a second. Prostitution is not legal in the middle realm?
It's like, I would say, like, okay, I might be wrong, but I'm saying it's maybe in some areas it's legal.
Maybe frowned upon. All right.
This is like a small town in the mountains. If you go to the big city, like if you go to a big city in Gareth, I'm sure they have prostitutes there too. There's like about over 1,000 people. This is like a village, a big village.
Yeah, I understand. More like xenophobic kind of.
Yeah, it's more old-fashioned. You go to a city, yes, you have brothels that are legal and everything. So
there are literally high schools bigger than this town here.
Yeah. So there's now just a lot of commotion because of this holiday. Does anybody else want to talk to Artel?
I would ask him if there is a garden to this tavern that he speaks of.
A garden?
Yes.
Sir Elf.
Trees and
there's the woods outside. There's the woods outside. We don't have. I mean, some of the bigger houses have some small gardens for sure.
While he's petting his snake, he turns over to him and says, "You don't want your heroes to be sleeping outside, do you?"
There's some nice benches and there's some trees in the city, in the town. I mean, but. Anybody else need some help? Okay, then I'll be off. And he walks off to do his guardly duties. So, does anybody wants to still do something before we go on? I don't want to railroad too hard. I have a plan.
Don't worry. I think you could railroad us if you wanted to.
I heard that there might be some highway robbers coming around here. We should hide in the trees and see if we can spy upon them.
Trees, say?
And then you see one of the old peasants, because he stopped singing. He's like, "What, highway robbers? What you talking about?"
Yes, I hear they make their way in the privy night to pounce upon those they can.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Thieves, scoundrels.
I see, yeah. It turns out this guy is like some kind of old bum. He's standing there. Yes, I see. And it kind of smells of piss.
I see a gentleman of such a noble birth and high rank who might know of this, my lord.
Yes, I am indeed a gentleman of high alert, but I'm in hiding right now. As you can say, I am incognito.
Oh, yes, as many of the
kind
guys
of burps, and his burp smells worse than the wagon. Previously.
Tell me, good sir, what is thy name?
Most people call me, hey you. But
how? Hey you? How?
I used to be, and my name is Elric, and I used to be an adventurer until I got an arrow in the knee. Okay, stop. and he's
like down at my knees, like the fat of my thigh falls over top of my knee.
I see you eat really well, sir. Might I have a coin so I could eat today well, too?
No, sir, but I'll tell you what you can do, and I will give you a pay squarely, bi-weekly. Carry my sword and look after my noble steed. I point towards the hairless donkey.
Yes, my lord, I will do so. Will I get the rest of your food, good sir?
Yes, you might get table scraps, as you wish, sir.
Very good, yes. And he carries your sword now, and he's like the heavy, like the sword. He's like holding it, but he's like this old man. He's like a crooked. He's clearly like, like not well.
I look at his nose. It's like pop marked, like bright red. His eyes are swollen, red rimmed, and like one of his eyes looks like has a cataract, kind of pale.
Yeah, very good. Okay, does anybody else want to do something before we move on?
We're going into the Unicorn Inn. Tell me, how now? What do you know of the place?
They kicked me out of it. They say
not now. You are my squire. They'll dare not kick you out.
Oh yeah. Well, I couldn't pay my bar tab.
They make you pay? I don't like.
Yeah. Well, there was some other things happening too. I don't want to get into that.
Let us take conference here by this tree. Tell me, what did you do?
I really don't feel comfortable talking about this quite yet. But you can see anyway. So you can hear a commotion, and you can see a bunch of the kids and the people going to a part in the marketplace where you can see the 3 wagons being built up. But they have a big tent with a big sign around the wagons. The wagons are built, 3 of them. So it's like, and you can see the Thorwallian, the red-haired Thorwallian. He's saying, "Come and see our show. Come and see the bizarre beasts of Buras. We have real monsters from hell itself, from the mystical distant southern jungles, from the eerie northern mountains. We got beasts from all places. Come and see the great show. Only
And
1 quarter.
Smell the monstrous stink.
Yes, that is the smell of doom. There's only 1 quarter to see the monsters. Come and see it." And
I shrug and jiggle the purse that I've acquired recently with all the wealth in it, and gesture to these newcomers. Let's go. What are we here for?
The last time I went to a sideshow, there was a rude tin held up by Palaverte posing this side was an idiot, completely naked, chewing a turd with a dull hostility in his eyes. I care not to see that look again.
Ulrich, a.k.a. Hayu, the bum, says, "Yeah." Or, sorry, your squire says, "Yeah, sounds like a good show."
Oh, you want to see it, do you, Ulrich?
I wonder, have you ever seen a donkey show?
I used to perform there with a donkey.
There was some times when my adventuring days ended, when I got wounded in the knee, as I told you. Like, some dark times, man. I got hooked on some pretty bad stuff.
Is this what you did in the Unicorn Inn? Were you the horn to the unicorn?
Mohan looks towards the blonde elf and says, "We have a couple hours before meeting at the tavern," and he joins the son of the wealthy merchant as he makes his way towards.
Very good. So you make your way. Is everybody else following, or what are you guys doing?
I'm hanging on my boy toy.
Nice. I love it.
Of course.
Of course, yes. So as you approach the tent. They ask you for a quarter. It's like a heller. So that's like, you just write down -1 quarter. It's like 10 heller or 10 quarters is like 1 silver. And then 10 coppers is 1 silver. Then 10 silvers is 1 gold. So 1 ducat. So you got quite some money there. Of course.
I'm willing to pay for everything, but as I approach, I get the coins out, and I start to hand a coin over for it to make change. And I say, but look, we bring our own beast. And I gesture to the snake.
And you can see that it's the woman who's getting into coins. I'm like, that's just a snake. Big deal. You want to try to convince her?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so let me see here.
So we're going to the show, like all of us?
You don't have to go if you don't want.
Are you tempting me to free those animals into the crowd? Because I would.
Does he try to charge me double because I'm so fat?
Yeah, you have to buy 2 seats.
There's no seats; it's standing. So it's like Well, it's like a Burnham, it's like a freak show thing, you know. You go through and
I
you see.
make my berth in the front row.
Okay, so let me see.
It's like 4, not 2. Square, you know.
Yeah. So, oh yeah, Rajan is yeah, convincing. You got 2 in that, so I'll say it's a -2, so it's a normal roll. So she's skeptical, but you're a pretty handsome fella, I'm guessing, and you're charismatic. So
Did you say she's a woman?
yeah.
Oh shit.
I have a seduce of +3.
Ooh. Okay, so it's +1 for you because it's -2. She's skeptical.
But I'm an elf.
Yeah, so big deal.
But there's 2 of us.
Maybe she doesn't like elves.
I think what we're doing is we're playing a good cop, bad cop kind of seduction because I obviously have no influence over her whatsoever.
So you have intuition. It's intuition, charisma.
But then I say that
Team.
if she lets us in for half,
Wait. Hold on 1 second.
I'll let her play with my
Ian.
snake later on.
Oh, sorry.
What?
She said it will let play with a snake. Yes, very good.
I'm confused.
I still have the snake from earlier on,
Yeah, you do. Ow!
but of course I'm, double meaning.
Yeah, yeah, thanks for explaining the joke.
Yes, very good.
For the younger audience.
Well, it has to be like he'll let you play with the snake and like which one, you know.
Well, yeah, you have to find out. Of course.
So Ian, what did you roll for your charm roll?
You mean Harry?
You mean Harry? Yeah.
Harry, yes, Harry. Sorry, Ian. Apologies, Ian. I'm bad with names. It takes some while. I mean, you can try if you want to. Like everybody's right. Harry.
Yes, I rolled a mighty 17, 18, 15.
17, 18. So
use those dice for D&D and just grab that dice for D&D and use them for this game.
Yes. Yeah. So you try, but you're like, nah. No snake. You pay your copper, and if you don't, if you continue that, then maybe I won't even let you in.
And then I come in with the snake thing, right?
Okay, roll your charming thing.
Come on, I'm subjective.
I'll give you a +1, so it's you get 2 to fix your rolls.
I passed with flying colors. My highest roll is 7.
Okay, please describe how you convince her with the snake roll.
Oh, I just did.
Okay, so she's like,
you can play with my snake net later on,
And she says, which one? And she's like,
find out.
She's like older, as I said, she's like about in her 40s, maybe her 50s, but she's very scarred. But she might have been good looking at one point, but she's like definitely looking at you, and like she turns a bit red. Okay, you get in, you devil, you civil tongue devil.
Meet me afterwards,
Okay, you pay for your tickets, so we'll figure this out with the money. So it's just like 1 copper, as I said. So
I pay for everyone.
Okay, yeah,
like children and stuff.
Yeah. Okay, we'll figure that out. That's no biggie. Point is that then they open the show. They show you, and then you can see the dwarf with the head. Buras. It says, "I am the great Buras. Let me show you the hell spawns, the monsters of the world. Ooh, look at this. It is a wait. How do you call that? It is a slayer of men, a truly fearsome beast. It has killed over 100 people just in this county alone. It is Gothrax, the mighty cave bear." And he takes up the thing, and you can see a huge bear. He has like these for every cage. He has like a little line to pull up. There's like a cover, and the bear goes like "Rawr!" and the people are like, "Oh, I don't know how you guys react.
So the animals are in a cage, and he won't let them, out.
Every cage is like separate, so they have like a separate like a cover or like a I cannot talk today, apparently. But yeah, you see a big fucking bear, and
Okay, this might be hard to fap to, but I'll give it a go.
As we see those beasts from inside their cages, I'll turn to the Mohan and once again try to speak to his, former slavery thing, which obviously is not true, but he doesn't know yet. And he'll ask, I would let those animals free if I could just open a cage, but this is all metal work, and I'm not really familiar with. Do you know if anyone can, open those cages for me?
What are the you see, as you're saying that, I mean, you see that he's standing there and he's almost like mesmerized, almost. He's just as he's just like just taken in despair. It almost seems like he's like looking through the bear almost. And but my question to you was, what's like the laws in this place? I mean, what are the penalties for roughly? Like, we break out this thing and we get caught. What is
it will be definitely jail, and
the
maybe
moment you
also
mention laws and stuff.
well,
the
it's a dangerous animal, and you would be freeing it on the people. So it's you would be familiar. You've lived long enough where you would know this would be very dangerous, and could be considered theft.
Is someone trying to unlock the beast?
Well, they're talking about it. So
Whoa. What's the plan here? Cause a ruckus and steal some purses?
I'm sorry, I thought you were asking the elf what the laws of the land were, because he would be looking at you puzzled like...
I was talking to the DM.
yes, he was asking me out of character. You would know that this would be highly illegal and dangerous, and you could be in a lot of trouble. So,
but you can look at the elf who doesn't know that. He's like,
yes,
no, doesn't care about that. Yeah.
As you're talking, the next Boras, the dwarf, he goes and now witness this aberration, this abomination that came out of the dark mage wars 300 years ago. Some foul experiment gone wrong. A horrific beast that has killed thousands of people. It is. And I have it written down because I know the English name. Yeah, okay. The giant stag beetle. And it's truly a huge stag beetle. And it goes around like the wings flapping like... It's about like... about 4 foot tall and about almost 6 feet like in length, and it's these big freaking antlers to stick with, and the wings are like flapping like, and it's like kind of going that, and people are like, whoa, and this smell is pretty bad. And then he's like, and then he goes to the next one. But wait, that is not all. For the final and most gruesome beast, the smelliest, the worst monster of them all, who can kill simply by its smell alone. And it is the Tatzel worm, the stink dragon. And he takes it off, and you see this huge, like, lizard-like creature standing about, like, 10 feet tall. About, like, I wouldn't say 10 feet. But, like, 8 feet tall. And like 12 feet long. It can barely fit in that cage, and it just roars at you, and it stinks horribly. People are terrified. Multiple people run away, either for the stench or fear. You have to roll a body control, Mr. Todor.
Damn it.
Or was it called? Yeah, self-control.
Self-control. Willpower.
Willpower, yes.
I'm good at that. I have +2, but my constitution and strength are not so great. Let's see.
Go ahead.
Oh, that's not constitution. What is you? Oh, it's courage. I'm good at courage. I'm courageous, dude. I pass with some good shit. Like
nice.
100.
You've been rolling nice.
Not really. I failed my first 2 rolls.
Oh, but okay, so you can barely contain it, but you do contain the smell.
No, I mean my first 2 rolls in the game, but now I rolled nice.
Well, either way, you rolled nice. You succeed, and it stinks horribly. And the creature just roars at you, roar, and it's like smells horribly.
Yeah. So the way I see it, that it still smells horribly to me, but that smell still gives me the idea, the will that I have to free those creatures. I mean, they cannot be in the cage. They have to be set free. And quick question: do I still, as an elf, choose to get to not sleep?
No, I think that's a D&D thing. I think
Instead
there's
of-
something like that.
No, not
but,
D&D. I can choose not to sleep, but I don't get I don't get my astral energy back and all that shit, but I can still stay awake.
I think so. Yeah, I think it would be fine.
Yeah, I won't be regenerating anything of my astral energy that I just lost.
Yeah. Like I'll figure it out. Yeah. You could stay awake for the night. Yes.
Because I will be definitely trying to free those creatures in the night.
Okay, so let's say if it's good with you, unless you guys want to do something else, I'll just railroad quick to the evening, okay? Because we're getting close to where I want to finish the game today. Unless any one of you wants to do something, wants to buy something, wants to. Yes.
I want to buy some flowers to give to the fiance.
Okay. Whatever flowers you wish, you can get the best flowers in this place for like 1 silver and like a huge bouquet. Like
That's what I want.
So it's like, you could get like for less money for sure, but you get very excellent, very nice roses, different colors, all kinds of whatever you say, that kind. And so anyway, so let's fast forward to the evening. You had some drinks, you had a good time, but then you're at the Rondra Temple, and Captain Ardo is awaiting you. Now, he's not in his armor now, he's in normal clothing. And, he comes to you and he says, hey, how you doing there? You had a good time? Well, get ready. If you're still hungry, we have a great feast prepared for you. So come on with me. We'll go to the house of Balthazius, the magistrate.
My guy, right?
Yes, and also your guy, Micah. What a coincidence. What a twist.
Wow.
Anyway, well, it's a small town, and, he's a big shot here, so.
Mm-hmm.
But it's, it's adventure module convenience. So as you get close to the house, you can see a nice sized house. It's not the biggest house, but it's a... Oh, okay. Micah, you disappeared. I was talking to you.
Yeah, I heard you, but it kind of froze.
I think you phased out. You had a transversalis teleport.
So the guy is my guy's there too, yeah?
Yes. And your guy's there too, and so it's the same guy. So just, of course, the convenience is I called it the adventure module convenience, but like in a movie, things are convenient sometimes. The point is that you get close to the house, and it's a nice looking house, has a small garden, there, not too big, but it's nice, well kept. As you go closer, there's some lamps, some city lamps are on, like little candles are on, as they are, and in the light and in front of the house, you can see suddenly a black cat, and it looks at you and goes, it just jumps away,
I say in back.
Nice, very good. Have you ever seen Willow? That scene where the troll growls at Mad Mardigan and he growls back. Yeah. That's what it reminded me of. So you knock. Ardo opens the door, and his fiancée Lena. He was basically like a whitish looking guy with dirty blonde hair. She has like black hair. She's pretty good looking, and she's also very young. and she's smiling, very happy. She's about like 5 feet tall, and she says, "Yeah, welcome, welcome. Come to the house of Baltasius. We are expecting you. My father is here too, and he has a guest here. So it's going to be great. We're going to have a nice dinner." As you step into the... go ahead. Yeah.
Is it like a big house with a garden?
It has a garden, yes. Not too big, but yeah, it has like 3 stories, so it's not a small house either.
Because you see the elf being very suddenly, for the very first time, he's very afraid because he has to go through this doorway and go into like a small room, and he's like looking like he's lost or something. He's always he's trying to go through the vestibule as fast as he can so that he can be like in an open space or is in the biggest room possible. The only reason he goes in is that he really has to meet this person for his friend. Otherwise, he wouldn't have entered the house at all.
Yeah. And as you enter, she leads you to the dining room area. And in the dining room, there is a very nice centerpiece, a clockwork clock, like an old like grandfather clock, something that is not quite seen. And it is, ticking. And every hour, like a cuckoo's clock, you have a little bird come out and saying, there's a specific bird. They said in a module, but I'll just say it's a cuckoo's clock, like going cuckoo.
First time the cuckoo comes out, you see the elf just taking his bow, knocking an arrow, almost like in a blink of an eye, and then he realizes it's just like a mechanic or something. He puts it back.
And she looks nervous, but then you suddenly hear this voice of this old man. You see this old bald man with this gray. It's like there's a lot of gray and white, but there's still some black in there. Beard. He's got a very nice brocade robe, and he says, "It's quite realistic, the detail, right?" Yes, yes. Quite a mechanical marvel, such. Only something dwarves would make, yes. My old friend, the dwarf King Gilmian, gave it to me 16 years ago for some good work I did with him. Yes, good times. Oh, yes. I am Magister. I was Baltosius. Yes. Very nice to meet you. Let us have some food and some drink, and let us have good conversation. Yes. I have a guest here. I would like to introduce you. And he puts his, he presents, and you can see a woman. She's about, in her late 20s, good looking, a little bit stern looking. She's got pretty black hair, like stinging blue eyes. And, she's dressed like a scribe or something. And she's got like a small, like glasses and whatever. And she says, "Oh, yes, I am Madame Sintelfink. Very, very nice to meet you." She looks kind of critical at you, especially at you, Quizira, She looks at you and like very suspiciously. And she says, "I'm the head librarian of the Bornish trader, Sturrebrad, of his private library. And you've heard of the Sturrebrad family. They're a very famous northern trading family. Everyone has heard of them pretty much, at least,
How big can that library be?
Oh, it's quite big. You would be surprised, good lady.
In all that big library with only one librarian?
Well, I'm the head librarian, as I said. As you know, head librarians is a very important position in a well-stocked library. Or didn't you know that?
Matilda at my temple, the head librarian, used to sit just behind her desk and order us around. And I give her a toothless smile.
I love it. And she's like, "Well, how quaint, how quaint. You have a little library. How sweet."
It's
Of
like
course.
you.
Yes, it's like you. And she has this kind of like, "I'm about to rip your head off" smile. Like, and then like you all sit down, and like the magister kind of like looks around and like, "Yes, yes, come sit down." And then you have brought in a majestic feast, very you get some quail, and you have a very good soup beforehand, and you have all sorts of other dishes. It's very filling. You get lots of wine. As I said, even you, Philip, your knight, gets quite well fed, and although they look at you and she's like, there's quite a lot of food has gone through and drink. And
you see like a number of plates stacked up, a number of clamshells on the floor next to it.
yes.
It's like a shell of armor, and I'm there with my pants unbuttoned, rope around the waist, inside my bellies.
It's like fucking Thanksgiving or something in the Midwest. Thanksgiving in the Midwest.
My beard looks like it's been buttered with grease from like ham hocks and turkey legs and gruel and grum.
So the Magister, like he's looking a little bit suspicious at you. So what brought you here, this group of yours? And he looks like, my lady, I would like to start with you. And he looks at you, Quizera, very politely. He says, what has brought you here? A servant of Hysinda.
Who asks me?
The Magister, Baltosius.
My guy.
Yes, your guy.
Oh, now that you're asking, I have to ask for a favor. Toothless grin.
A favor? What can I be of service with?
We are in need of a very special... What do we need? A book.
It's the book on crystalmancy. Crystal magic, whatever, doesn't matter.
That crystal thing.
And he's like, oh yes, that is my expertise. Oh yes, I remember now. I have put this down. Yes, I've been writing my book. Let me see. I have recently printed out some issues on the
Yeah. I know, and we just need one for our library. And I look at the girl because we travel far for our books.
Well, I've been here, and I have already a first edition, a first printing, so to speak. Oh yes, this will be a second printing, yes. But it is very well done. We have some very, very talented printer people here.
I yawn and I look at the girl again. I'm sure the young lady would be delighted to listen to your book expertise.
I mean, the thoroughbred private library is quite exquisite. Many scholars, mages, and priests come there for a search of very rare books and information. I must say so myself. And
I narrow my eyes.
Yeah, and then he's like, oh, Lena, my dear, could you bring... Yes, Dad, I will bring you the book. And she brings back a really well-made printed book with, like, it says, Crystals and Me, a beginner's guide by Baltosius, Magistrate Baltosius. A beginner's guide on crystal magic. And it's like, she gives you the book, and it's actually nice. It's, like an old school... They have already printing, like... what do they call it? Like, 15th century style printing. So... Yep.
So I'm hard of hearing, so I tend to speak very loud. And I mutter to myself, basically screaming, why by the gods would we need such a beginner's guide? Oh well.
It is a very in-depth book, actually. Crystal magic is very complex. I will release the more advanced books later in the following years. But I have to be very thorough, as you know. As you know, science must be thorough, as a great noble servant of Hysinda such as you would know.
I look up from the book and I squint. Huh? You're talking to me?
Yes, my lady.
Oh, don't bother. And I put the book into my bag.
Anyways, I must say that I have heard that this mighty knight and this elf together have... woven spells and used their combat knowledge to defeat the great serpent. Is that true?
Oh boy.
One has heard from going down on the grapevine. It's a small town.
Is the snake with us?
All right, so instead of answering this question, the elf will do a dance. This is like a nobles gathering for dinner.
Yes.
So there were probably some little minor acts before that.
Yeah.
Is his local entertainer guy or whatever.
Yes.
And the last guy of all those entertainment guys thought that he's like the major act, but the elf just waited his time until this guy, and then he came in as the major act for the evening, and he did this awesome dance and singing from his far-off lands deep in the woods. This is a song that touched everyone's heart by, it was some kind of a primal emotion for everyone, since elves were here before humans. And he was dancing, and all of a sudden, like out of his sleeve, came out the snake that he just tamed into the...
Oh, wow, you have tamed the snake. That is quite an accomplishment, to tame a snake.
And he just kept dancing, and I imagine this is like a little hall with this large
It's
table.
not too small. It's there's still some space to walk around the table and everything.
He was dancing over the table, but he was so fancy and so precise that he never knocked off any.
You don't have to roll for that. Yeah, you're skillful enough to do that. Yes.
So he never knocked off anyone's cup or plate. Yes. And in the end, he finished in the middle, like the snake was one of his friends, and it's just coming out of his sleeve and just swirling and hissing at everyone in the middle of the room.
And he's like, well, it is quite a great feat to have tamed the snake, but I would ask you to please take it away, since it is, I know this type, and it's a poisonous viper, so please be careful with that.
But I won't, my lord, because you see, I was sent here not by chance, but by our mutual friend, the one that you may know as Silverhawk.
Oh, yes, Silverhawk, yes. I remember him. He was a good friend. When I was a adventurer and exploring ruins and stuff, he was a good friend on my side. How is he doing? He probably has aged much better as an elf, hasn't he? Than me.
So if you trusted my uncle, then you should trust me.
Well, in that case, a friend of Silverhawk is a friend of mine.
Well, I'm his nephew, my lord, and I do a little courtesy.
That is very good. A nephew of his, definitely. No, I'll trust you. He was good with animals himself.
And now, quickly, I didn't memorize it. Do I have to get a figure from him, or do I have to give him?
You have a horn flute, a flute made out of horn.
Perfect. And I have to give it to him, right?
Yes, that's the thing.
All right. So as the snake is coming out of my sleeve, on its top, in the flat head,
nice.
It has this horn flute.
Yes.
And it reaches out to him. Now, I want to give it to him, but I also want to test his courage, because he is supposed to be this courageous friend of my uncle's who used to travel with him as an adventurer. So he must be courageous enough to take his thing off a venomous snake's head, right?
Well, you don't know. Like, you know that he was courageous, but he was doing the spells in the background, so like a spell slinger, like a glass.
Well, maybe it is me being an elf and trying to be like the higher creature to a human, just trying to test in a way.
He's like, well, is this a gift for me?
Well, my uncle sends his regards and his best wishes, and I still bow my head and do like courtesy.
If you could remove it of the snake, I do not trust that snake. Believe me, I have some bad experiences with snakes.
Then I would laugh. He would know that now I think less of him than I used to, but I will do that.
Well, he doesn't. He barely knows you. He doesn't really care. So.
Well, I suppose so. I'll take it off, and then I will give it to him as a offering. Like, he will know that this is like an artistic thing. I don't really bow to humans and shit, but
yeah,
you know,
he takes the flute.
Could be a little bit like mocking.
Yeah.
At this point,
he nods, he laughs a bit, and he says, he looks at the flute and like, I remember this flute. Your uncle used to play on this, some very nice tunes. Yeah, this is a very nice. We had some good times. He puts and
yeah, sorry.
Oh, nothing like so the well. Go ahead. Yeah.
So, my lord, this flute is a special gift from my uncle to you. So is there anything in return that I might, give to him on my way back?
He thinks for a while, and he's like, "Oh, I think he will appreciate this." And then he calls over his daughter, and his daughter like nods. He tells, and she comes back, and she gives you a small. It is a small dagger, and it has a very nice mahogany wooden handle and a silver crossguard. It's like this is a knife I found on one of our adventures. He will remember it quite fondly.
I'll make sure he gets it, my lord.
Tell him Zorgal sends his regards. He'll know what it means. And you have the lady speaking like, okay, all this gift giving and everything. This is all good and well, but this is a bit childish to me, and also this whole dancing elf. I mean, I understand this is part of your culture, but Jesus Christ, not Jesus Christ. By Prios, it's like it's gone on forever. And she sips out of her wine. I mean, what kind of group of people are you? She's looking there with the wine, kind of expecting an explanation, looking very critical.
Wait a second. Who is asking us?
It is the woman, the lady.
I don't know any one of those.
But by the way, you remember now what she is rolling. Everybody roll an intuition roll. Just a basic one. So your intuition number or under?
Failed.
Nope.
13.
13. Okay.
I got 3.
So, and is it your intuition number or under?
Yeah, my intuition is 8, so I failed.
Okay, then you failed. So who succeeded?
I did. I rolled a 7 under 9.
Okay. So from all the people, our knight has remembered that our I forgot the name, even though I've written it down. Oh yeah, the Madame Sintelfink. She looks surprisingly similar to the lady. You have seen her before when the dwarf had his performance, and after that you saw him when he walked off to get something to drink. He talked to her, and you could recognize her. She has something else on, but you recognized her face. So go ahead.
I knew this woman. I've seen her before.
Are you talking about me in the third person, Sir Knight? If you are that, your table manners are quite lacking. I must say, I mean, I apologize, Magister, but if he is a knight, then I am the goddess Raya.
I suck my thumb and pull my ear. Why? Cry at me like that, woman.
Well, knights have very good table manners. That is something they learn in the academy where they are trained. It is something very well known.
My mustache. like a villain. Oh, what do you
At
say?
best, you're some common mercenary.
My
And
name
who is this
Sir.
old lady? You say you are some priestess of Hacinda? I'm not so sure you are. And then the magistrate says, well, calm down, Madam Sindelfink. It's all good. These people have done a great service. They maybe probably did all this as a show. This elf, obviously, it was his snake, and he started this whole thing.
I do air quotes, madam.
So it's about like everybody. She has had also some to drink, and like, and the magistrate said, "Well, we had a nice evening, but before this turns sour by Travia, it was very nice. We could maybe meet even tomorrow again if you're still here for the celebrations. They've just begun." But he looks at you, Ian. Was it Mohan, I believe, or like, let's say you introduced yourself. Am I correct?
And he's like licking his fingers, and he nods. He says, "Yes, Mohan Darkstar. So tomorrow you speak. Tomorrow we can meet here again." And he looks towards the rest of his companions.
If you're still here, I mean, it would be interesting. You have traveled a lot, and I like to talk with interesting people who have seen a lot. And all of you are obviously out of towners, so. But then the captain stands up and he's like, and he says, "Well, we could continue this maybe tomorrow, maybe even go to one of the inns where they have a celebration. But it's close to midnight." And Lena says, "Yes, Father, you need your rest. You remember." Yes, daughter. We had a good feast. I've drank a little bit too much wine, and I think Madame Sindelfink, you have too. I'm like, I have not. Madame Sindelfink, come on, it's all good, please. And then the captain says, "Let me come with you to the inn. It would be my honor to guide you through back to the inn, and then we could maybe meet tomorrow." And then he stands up and very, very politely, but he does ask you out. So what do you guys do?
Thank him for the food, and makes his way back to the tavern.
Very good. Yeah.
I get up and I put the goblet into my bag.
Ooh, okay, that's stealing. Do a.
No, that's just being old and forgetting.
That's the excuse they say. I have Alzheimer's, but you still got to roll.
Fuck. Do a roll here.
So it's should be in crafts and.
Why the hell does it have like 5, 6 different sections? Where is it?
Okay, wait. It should be here when I go to here, Kuzira, and oh yeah, it should be at crafts. It's I think I sent it to you in German. Right?
Yeah.
Then it's Handwerker, Diebstahl.
I don't have that.
Really? Let me check here then.
Oh, Taschendiebstahl.
Taschendiebstahl, yes.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, I'm at the first.
It's not very
the second.
It's not very a Hacinda-like thing to do.
Fingerfit.
Maybe you should have been a Fex priest.
Are you criticizing my priest?
Well, you could lose your connection to your goddess. Just saying.
But I'm old.
Fair enough.
I made it.
Okay, fair enough. I'll say that you're Alzheimer's, but you just accidentally stole it.
Yeah. Only my god will know if that's true.
Maybe you thought that goblet is a very nice artifact. You know, like, I will not remove your karma just yet. Very nice.
Dang.
Yes, it is so. If you they're very strict on, but this is not. I wouldn't say this is like something like, not yet. Anyway, so as you're walking back to the wild unicorn.
Hold on.
Yep.
As we're getting up, I'm taking a close look at Madame Sintelfink. I don't trust her. The way she's come on to us, I'm wondering if she's harboring malice toward her, toward the magistrate.
Okay, I will try. I can roll it for you, or you can roll it for yourself. How do you want to do it?
You go ahead and roll it.
Okay, well, it's human nature.
Yep, 3.
Okay. Even though she seems to be critical, she seems to be just like a typical, very critical, analyzing nerd, basically, it seems. And it seems also she seems to be fine. She seems to have no ill will towards the magistrate. She might have some ill will towards you guys, but not towards him. So,
Okay.
So your suspicion seems to be, she seems to be fine.
All right. In that case, I'll go. I'll say pleasantries and go back with the rest of the gang.
Right. Okay. So as you're walking towards the wild unicorn, suddenly all hell breaks loose, basically. You can hear like screaming, you can hear animal roaring, like rah! You can hear crashing of shit. And Captain Ardo says, "Something is wrong. I must go to the guard station."
The worm is loose.
And it's like, if you could help, it would be of great service.
Wait, did I free those animals or someone else did?
Someone freed those animals, man.
Damn. Why?
I want to run up to the top of the tavern window and like unhinge the lock and like gently peep out into the street and see what I see.
So so you actually go back to the tavern.
Yeah.
You haven't reached the tavern yet, so you were like halfway there.
You're in the street.
Oh shit! Like as I'm walking, my pants fall down around my ankles. Oh, what a compromising situation.
So you go to the tavern, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you guys do? The other guys?
Yeah, run towards where the screams are originating from.
Okay. Awesome. So, and the others? Just want to make sure that who's going where.
Where's my boy toy?
Boy toy, where's the boy toy?
I'm not exactly a heroic type of person, but I'm pretty drunk at this point, and there sounds like there might be something interesting going on. So I would be following the sound of excitement.
Yeah, then I will be too. Suddenly, pretty quickly.
Very cool. Okay, so
I would follow them, but just make sure that the animals run free and not get caught back.
Okay. Then we will see here. Okay. Okay, so it's either Sir Hal Sackpike or because I think the initiative works is that with the highest, those with the highest courage would start. Now, okay, so Sir Sackpike, although maybe the courage should be lowered, we'll see. For now, we'll go with that. Sir Sackpike and Ian and our elf. You got the biggest initiative. Everybody roll with a d20. I'll roll 2 for the creature, and the other ones will come afterwards.
I have a 4.
You got a 4.
I rolled an 8.
4.
I rolled a 2.
Okay, so I think it was Ian, right? So Ian, you'll start. So what you see, you can see the giant stag beetle just going like attacking, and he's about to he's like there's no guards at the moment. They're dealing. You can hear them afar. You're dealing probably with the bear, and
Absolutely.
yeah.
How far away roughly is it from us? Is it like quite close?
Right now is you've been running and it just kind of burst out, and it's about like let's say 12 feet from you.
Absolutely. So it's almost like a flash in his head. He hears his mother's voice, which he's heard many times, you know, and the voice just calls his name. It says Kuhu Taha Ha, which is his true name actually, and he just throws this spear that he has, and just as it leaves his hand, he just reaches down to his side where his stone knife is.
Nice.
So to hit, I would have to do.
You have a ranged combat modifier.
Absolutely.
And it should be next to the weapon, actually.
Okay, got it. So wooden spear. I got 6. Is it inside the brackets or is it just before?
Yeah. Okay. Again, this is like the first session, and let me actually here. I have a lot of this stuff open here. Okay, so when you open up your character sheet, it should be, you scroll down and it says weapon, right? And then it says distance weapon, or like what did I write? What did I call it in English? Yeah, there's weapon and ranged weapons, and there should be the we'll do. I think your ranged modifier. Oh, that's not the modifier. We'll just do your attack base for now. So whatever the AV base is, so you have your, under the hit points and everything, there should be AV base.
Okay, I've got AV.
Oh, no, wait. What is the FK base? That one next to the dodge. I haven't translated that. It should be a FV, or distance thing. That's the number you got to roll. Roll under.
So AV base, is that what you're talking about, or FK basis?
The FK basis, yeah, sorry. Yeah, that's the one.
It was, the FK basis is 7, I rolled 3.
Okay, you hit. I see if the creature can try to dodge. Because everybody has a defensive move.
Yeah.
Let me see here. No, he is unable to dodge. Your spear, there should be in the weapon thing. That's the damage it does. It should be there.
Yes, sorry. It's DM. Is that for damage? DM?
Yes, damage. Yes, and it's always 1d6 is the damage.
It's got +2 on the end of it. 1 W.
Yes, it's a wooden spear. I did a traditional weapon there. So it's 1d6 plus 2.
Got it. He does as he just throws, goes out of his reach, just like hits into the side of this hits through the wing crunches into the side of the stag and does some 8 points of damage.
1 second before you, whoever has sound in the background, could everyone mute themselves, please?
Now you muted yourself.
Yeah, also.
I did too well. Today I'm like gone. I haven't DM'd in so long. I'm going crazy. Anyway, Ian, go ahead. Also tell me how much damage you did, because the way how armor works is that once you get hit, the armor is removed from the damage. So.
Oh, wow. Cool. So it's 8 points. I rolled 6 + 2, 8.
Okay, 8.
Yep.
So let me see if it actually goes through. If it penetrates his armor. 8, yes, it does. So please describe the hit.
Absolutely. So as this thing's like flapping just around and there's people scattering, he throws this wooden spear with this like stone tip as it just goes through its wings, pins through its wings into the side of, and crunches in. It's just like that.
It crunches in. You can see you can hear the thick chitin armor crack, and the creature goes. It doesn't go too deep though, but it goes somewhat deep, and it does hurt the creature, and it's like hanging out. It's trying to move and get it away, but it doesn't have that much motion as it is a beetle. It is still a giant beetle, so its wings flapping. It's too big to really fly, but what they can do is like kind of control jumps more like that. Anyway, so I think the next person would be our knight. So you were at the inn. Let's say the inn, they're not as far, so you can see them in the distance fighting the stag beetle. Philip, what do you do as you watch?
I would bounce on top of my donkey like a trampoline. I would take my lance under my arm, and I would kick it in its hindquarters and set off at a deadly pace to charge at this beast.
Very good, very good. Okay, so you.
So I just imagine like this ball of butter in a skillet, just making its way across.
Okay, this is great. So you're actually doing. I'll say you can get there in a turn. So next turn, you'll get to roll for hit. Okay, nice. For a lance ride, very nice. So you're actually using us as the thing. Very cool. It's just a tourney lance, so it won't do as much damage, but it will still do damage if you hit. So you'll roll, but first you got to do a riding roll, right? So you got to succeed on that. Let me see here. I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Okay. Yeah. So it should be there with body.
Is it under jousting? No.
It should no. Just do riding. Jousting is then infantry weapons, but you have to do a riding roll. That's under the skills. Yeah.
I'm looking for it.
Yeah.
Nature skills?
Body skills. It should be body skills.
Okay, one sec.
Wait, I'll check your character sheet. I'll just tell you.
Yeah, riding.
Yeah.
CHAGST.
So, like, if you look at the top, you can see that charisma, because you have to convince the horse. So that's the number. And so yeah, riding. So
charisma,
roll
agility, and strength.
Yes, yes. And then you have 5. You're you're pretty good at riding. You have 5 points to fix your roll. So roll for charisma.
Okay.
So you got to roll under, or under, or target number under.
All right, so that's a 13.
That's a 13, and you got.
Do I remove 5 from that roll?
Yes, yes. You can. If you remove 5. That would be an 8, but now you're out of your points, so you gotta now succeed at agility and strength with no help. So go ahead. Okay, agility.
Agility.
11 or under.
16.
Okay, then we don't have to roll the rest. You fail. You're not knocked off the thing, but you're trying to get the donkey to move, right? But it just won't move. Okay, it looks very embarrassing. Imagine that.
Maybe the donkey just sits down.
The donkey can barely stand from your fat ass. Okay, that's what's happening. The donkey's back is about to fucking break. Okay,
yeah, and I'm just like rocking back and forth.
And you want to fucking, you want to accelerate that thing to hit it with the lance. Like, give me a break.
So I have some of those hot cakes. I put it at the end of the lance to get him to go.
Okay, you could try that. That is nice. that is taming. That might actually work. Okay. As stupid as it sounds. Okay, then we have Todor is our next one. And then and then it will be our the creature and the not charlatan and Micah. Todor.
Right, so this beetle, it's not a natural beast. It's like that.
It is a big beast, but it is a natural beast. They did a huge story, but it is something you've heard of. You might have even seen or even hunted them or interacted with them in the woods.
So it's not created by the magicians, like they say.
I don't think so. No, like I could check the background. They're just giant beetles. They're like dire beetles, basically.
Damn it! Then I'm really confronted. Like, what should the fucker I do? I don't want to kill a beast.
I mean, wood elves do hunt, though.
I know they do hunt, but
maybe you were like, there might be some wood elf clans that really are super vegan and everything. Probably,
I'm
actually.
not vegan, but I just don't want to kill the beast because it was kept in captivity and now it just broke free and just wants to get
Well,
loose. You know what I want to do? I want to create that magical mist.
yes. Okay. Via Vale
One
Nebula.
can attack the beast and it can freely like just go on its way.
Okay.
Cleverness, dexterity, and KK. What is KK?
Sorry. For some reason, I should have. That's strength. That's Körperkraft. Yeah.
So I need strength for my mist spell.
Well, it's basically you have to focus the spell in a way.
All right. I see. So 13, 11, 10. Damn it. All right. I want to,
Via Vale Nebula. Okay. Yeah.
You see my elf just going in like next to the next to that creature, like trying to get in between the elf and the Mohan, and he starts just blowing from his mouth and just doing some incantations with his hands, like doing like this. But what he's trying to do is create a magical mist all around so that everything goes into obscurity.
Okay, at level 1 you can do it like in any shape, the mist, and it can be with level 1. It can be one, like 1 square meter, like one.
Oh no! Wait, so I cannot cover all this creature with mist?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, I mean it is like 1 meter by 1 meter, so it should be fine. Yeah.
All right, so I succeeded my roll.
You did? Okay. You lose 7 arcane points. And yeah, so
and I cover this creature with mist so that
you could also shape it in any form you want if you wish.
I want to make it with something that doesn't like look dangerous and also
okay, it just looks like mist. Yes, it just looks like a if you wake up in the morning early enough.
Yeah, so that others don't like see it as a threat, and also if they still see it as a threat, they have like a harder time to hit it.
Okay, so basically you cannot see anything suddenly. Suddenly, you say the incantation, the mist appears. It's like nobody can see jack shit right now. Okay, you're surrounded by it, and you're surrounded, and the creature is surrounded by it too. All you can hear is. Okay, so Harry, it's your turn. It's Rajan's turn.
Okay, this may be messed up by the mist, but my thoughts is that these creatures have been let out by someone. Someone, maybe an elf, got to them first and released them. So I want to find out if there's anyone around who's like lurking in the shadows, who's maybe like just unlocked their cages and is trying to slip away in the night. So I have run over to maybe a market stall or something and hike myself up onto it, and I'm looking around, and now everything's covered with fog.
Not everything. It's just like a meter. It's just around the creature and your friends.
Okay, all right. I'm looking beyond.
It's like about like it's a square. It's like it's a rough like half dome, but shape kind of like, but it's mist, like 1 meter by 1 meter, like kind of thing.
Okay, that's pretty small then.
Yeah.
Where I would think that someone might be hiding, by the door or over by the wagons that the thing came out of, or.
Yeah. You can check. You can walk. You run out. You can run to the wagons in 1 turn.
Okay.
And then I'll allow you to run there, and then to use your what did I call it? Because I translated all this shit.
Perception?
Oh yeah, perception. Yeah, and if you go to the intuitive skills, then you roll for perception.
Right. Okay. I completely fail.
You don't see anything. You see that they're open, which is obvious, and you can see. The stink is not as bad, but it's still, you can hear some of the growling and stuff. But yeah, that was your turn. Next
Does
person.
it look like they're broken open, or just the doors intact?
You can see that they have been unlocked. You can see that there's some damage from the one where the bigger the Tatsel worm was in. But that's simply because it was so big, and probably when it walked out. But you could see the locks have been opened. They could have been technically be picked. You cannot tell right away. You would have to inspect them longer.
Gotcha.
But it's just a cursory glance with no rolls. Okay, so the next person is Micah Kusira.
I can't see the beetle, right?
No, and not at the moment.
Jesus. Are there people standing around staring or something?
Most of the people have ran away. You could see people running away from the creature. So, if there were any, they're further away. You know, at this point, they're running away from the creature in terror.
Okay, so nobody is looking in an interested kind of way, you know. Criminals like to watch their deeds happening.
You could look. You could also roll for Sinnesschärfe.
Yeah, let's do
I
that.
was forgot. Yeah.
Yeah, I
You
saw
could.
that.
You would have to probably move out of the cloud, out of the fog, but that you could move out and look
Yeah.
around as an action.
Let's do that. Okay. Yeah, I made that.
Oh, you
All
made it.
three
Okay.
rolls. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Guess who you can see hiding and about, moving away.
The
in a
shitty
suspicious
girl.
way? No, but
Oh.
the one you can see is the dwarf with the top hat, and he's hiding pretty well, but not well enough for the eyes of the servants of Hysinda, of God of Knowledge.
Dang
And
it.
he's running away in a very suspicious manner, trying to hide, not be seen. Not like he's running away from the terror of the creatures, because then he wouldn't try to hide as well. It's clearly sneaking.
There is nobody next to me, right?
Well, other than your friends and the beetle in front of you, no.
Oh, dang it.
Next to you?
Yeah.
No. Okay, that was your turn. So, okay. Let me see. Oh, wow. But guess how long the spell holds for the mist? So like an hour. So that will be on for the whole fight easily.
Thanks, Todor.
Anytime.
It's actually not a bad tactic. It's actually a pretty good spell, I'd say.
I don't want the creatures getting
No,
out.
no, it's cool. You're playing your character. You don't. It is a natural animal. Like it's not technically. I don't think it's a mutate. There is hybrids and stuff, but it's not a hybrid. This is just a big beetle. Anyway, this big beetle, he doesn't like what's happening. He will try, even though he cannot see, he will just try to use his other senses. But then suddenly there is somebody too came out. So he's going after the prey, the old lady, Micah. So
Huh?
You went out and the beetle sees you, So he comes to you.
What? No.
And but yeah, since he walks out of the thing, as a movement, then he sees you, and okay, so he tries to grab you with the horns. Okay, he fails. He tries to grab you with his gigantic pincers, like, but he managed. He's like still kind of confused with the mist at the moment.
You're welcome.
And yeah, he misses you. But you can see these freaking giant things just going. They could probably go through steel armor if they really wanted to, or something. So anyway, so next we go on the top. Which was Ian, it's your turn. So, I know it's not lots of people. It's like it's the nature of the beast. So
okay. I was wondering if so the first thing he would have done anyway is he had reached down for his stone knife.
Yes.
And as soon as the fog mist just went, is he would have squatted immediately. And
Okay.
Yeah. And that's all he's going to do is kind of listen and the direction of this thing.
Okay, so you can roll a perception roll as you listen to see where maybe everybody is, to try to use your ears instead.
Okay, I rolled a 19. That's first, and then secondly, where the heck is perception? Is that on the?
Yes. Apologies. Again, first time. If you go to your skills, it's the last skill, intuitive skills. It should be called perception. Yeah. It's if you go, as there's the page with skills, right?
Oh, shit, I'm so sorry, man. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's the other one.
No worries. It's a new system, and I haven't ran it in a long time. And I'm translating it from German to English, so yeah.
What did you say the category was again? It's not intuitive.
It's intuitive skills.
I got it. I got danger sense, gambling, predicting, perception. That's
so you got to. Perception is cleverness, so that's intelligence. So you can all of your attributes are on the top of the thing. So it's the CL.
CLM, which is.
And you got 2 in that, and then intuition twice.
Okay, so.
But you rolled a 19, right?
That means absolutely no way anyway.
There's no way, because you have only 1 point to fix that, so let's just not continue rolling. Like, if you miss the early one, it sucks, but you are just like, you're just crouching down. You don't know. It might have been the creature. You don't know, because you didn't see Toller doing a spell. Maybe he said something, but, you probably don't know. Most people know that there's magic, but they don't know really how it works, unless they learned it. But you're just like, maybe it was the creature, so you're like careful, but you cannot hear anything at the moment.
Got it.
Okay, so you're just holding your action. So that's it. Then the next person is our knight. Since you failed your riding roll, you can attempt again, but you can only do it twice before the thing. So do another riding roll.
How far away is this beast from me?
It's about, like, I'd say, like 100 meters. Like, it's about 100 yards, 70 yards, because you went to the inn, right? I thought you were gonna stay at the inn.
A football filled away.
Yeah, about like a little bit less. I'd say less.
Okay. How far away is the tavern from me?
The tavern is about right now where you are, about like 5 meters. Like 5 yards.
Fucking 15 feet away.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
You were very motivated to get back. Even though you're a fat ass, you're very motivated. Okay. That's my excuse for bad DMing. There we go.
So I'm just gonna put one of those hot cakes on the end of this lance and see if I can get the.
Okay. We will roll 2 rolls. I love it. We got to do this. Okay. So the first roll we're gonna do is for animal bonus. What is it here? Nature skills, animal lore. There should be. Oh yeah, taming. Right. Wait, how is it called here? Survival. Is it craft? Oh yeah, tame animals. Okay, you got a -2 in it. However, because you put this, you had a good idea, we will give you +2, which will put you to 0, okay? Which means you don't get any bonuses, but you don't get any minuses either for a good idea. Okay?
Okay.
Because you know what? I'll give you another one. You get 1 to fix it, because I really like this idea, and I kind of want it to work, but I cannot give you more than that. So, tame animals. So courage, intuition, charisma.
Courage, intuition, charisma. Okay.
Yeah.
First roll. 17.
No. You had a good idea, but the donkey, you put it on the top of the thing, but the donkey, he just does not care. He sees this fucking giant beetle. He's like, son, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. It's like Shrek, the donkey from Shrek is like, I'm not moving. Maybe if it's a dragon, you know what I'm saying?
I guess I'll
No, of course he cannot talk. Although, maybe.
I'll hand my lance to Aldrich.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
And I will start moseying my way over.
Yes. He holds the lance and like he. I'll wait here, good sir, for your arrival.
And take after this donkey.
I will take after the donkey.
His name is Siegfried. Treat him well.
I will take care of Siegfried, the donkey. Yes. And okay, so next turn you can arrive there with using your sword.
Okay.
You can also use your lance as a spear, but it's actually cool. What you wanted to do, but sadly, shit happens. Like sometimes the donkey doesn't want to move. Sometimes your ass does not want to move, if you know what I'm saying. So, okay, so we had that. I think we had Todor do the Via Valle Nebula. We had Ian. Todor, was it your turn yet?
Not a second time around, no.
Yeah. Okay, then Todor, it's your turn. Right, you started with the mist.
So after the mist, now that I got this beetle covered or whatever, I also want to look towards the cages and try to see what's wrong and why are they loose. So can I do my perception?
Yes, you can run over to the cages and check the cages for perception.
Yep, I have a +6 on that, so should be good. And it's all good. A 4, an 8, and a 9. So yeah, pretty
Cool.
much know what's going on over there.
Okay. So what happened is that so you can figure out clearly that somebody has opened the cages, and as you are you can see now, since it's just every turn is about 5 seconds or less, you can still see the dwarf running away too in a suspicious fashion.
Cool.
So you've seen that. That was your turn.
Perfect.
Now it is Rajan's turn. You're at the you ran towards the cages, to the wagon cages or whatever.
Do the cages look like? I guess they look like they're intact. The lock had been picked, but if we've got the creatures back in there.
The third cage, the one where most likely the Tatzelworm was in, is damaged, but mostly it looks like, even though it was open, the Tatzelworm was very big and aggressive, and it damaged the cage. The other ones are not as, because the bear, even though it's big, it's not as big, and same with the giant beetle, the stag beetle.
I don't know if I'll be able to do this all in one turn, but what I'm going to try to do is run back a little bit toward the beetle.
Okay.
So that I'm within range of my spell. It allows me to make flaming writing.
Yes.
Mene Tekel Flammensichen.
Nice. I like it. I like that you try the incantations. Thank you. That makes me happy. Well, I'll give you a bonus point just for that, for your spell.
So I want to put the flames between the beetle and the old lady, trying to get them so that the flames
They're illusionary flames, but they do look like flames, so you could use it. It could be scared away because it doesn't know it's an illusion, unless it doesn't, it will notice it eventually, but not right away. It's a good idea, actually.
Okay, so I've placed myself potentially in harm's way because now I'm between the beetle and the stable, but I'm casting it anyway. Bring myself up, and my eyes almost kind of sort of go white as I'm.
Do you write anything specific? You can write up to 100 signs.
Fuck. Beetle.
And your distance from you can do about at most 100 50 meters in front of you, so 50 yards, 49 yards.
Plenty of space. I don't know. I probably would just be doing arrows back to the.
Okay, you can do arrows. That's fine. On the keyboard, that's fine. I'll allow that.
Well, I'm massively well rolling today. I've got a
Nice.
1 in that skill
Wow, got a
spell.
crit. Yes.
No, I've got a 1 skill. And the first thing is Klugheit.
Yes.
Uh,
Intelligence, Klugheit. Nice.
so I need a 12, but I rolled a 16, and I'm not going to be able to get
And what's
that
your
down.
points? You cannot fix it. You don't have enough.
Well, I've only got 1 point in that spell, I think.
Ah,
So
okay.
where-
Then you try, but it doesn't work. Describe how it fails. Yeah, magic, especially in the beginning, and skills are hard to pull off a lot of times because you got to do 3 rolls. So
Right. Well, the flames, illusionary flames, flick right from my fingers toward the beast, driving it toward the old lady before they sputter out.
yep, you lose half of that, so it's like 5. So I'll say 2. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that was your turn, and now Kusira, it's your turn.
How far away is that dwarf?
He is. You would need 2 turns to get there. Maybe the elf
No.
would be there faster.
No, we're lazy today. The young ones can do that later. Is the beetle in front of me?
The beetle is still in front of you. Tried to sting you, to bite you. And you can see your boy toy arriving, trying to do something. Probably attempting a spell. Not very successful at it.
Can I just try to defend myself? Because they probably
Yeah. You have a weapon. I think you got I gave you a dagger and a stick.
a spear.
Spear.
No,
it's a
oh yes.
Kampfstab, yes.
Stick. Okay.
Staff. A staff. Like I called it stick.
Yeah,
It's a
let's
staff.
do that then.
Quarter staff.
Yeah.
Okay. Remember, you can, if you're in really big shit, try to ask Goddess for help. So. Although,
yeah, but I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, okay, you're a little pointer. Just an idea from Hisinda, little free tip. Like, just you could ask for a weakness to know knowledge of the creature.
Ooh. Okay. Yeah, let's do that then.
Okay.
How do I do that?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm doing the old school way. So not the liturgies became like magic basically, and they are different here. So, I haven't actually done it yet myself, because when we played it, we didn't have one yet, or I think maybe, but I don't remember. Anyway, the point is that you want to, like, you can roll in order to avoid getting hurt in the fight, or you can roll for a skill check. You can roll, use your karma to add to a skill check, for example, that you really need. So you could like have it in animal lore or something to find out a weakness.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to roll for this one, I would say a miracle test, which would be your courage, so mood, intuition, and charisma, and you get 1 point. So every level that you gain.
Okay, I already failed that because I rolled a 20.
You know what? I'll be nice because it says here that you can decide when you want to say Hisinda is nice. So roll a d20 plus 7. And that's how much karma points you'll use up. And that's how much you can use for your roll, for your skill check roll.
15? Okay. But do I want to use that for that roll? I don't know.
Well, we could say no. It has to be in some kind of a dangerous thing, and it has to be something where it has to fit with your goddess thing, so.
Okay.
You don't have
Oh,
to.
dang.
I'll
Yep.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice.
But for the second one, I rolled an 18, so yeah, I guess it's in the third one. Well, the third one I would make.
I said that, you know, let's just, because the miracle check, you can decide on which one you need one or not, and that's like I'll decide. So for this one, it's a freebie. You can just use your karma. You pray, Jacinda will help you, as long as it fits with her thing.
But it's not enough. Not enough points.
Oh, how much?
I
With
rolled
15?
I rolled 15, and I had an 18, a 20, and yeah, the last one I made. So that's not enough.
Okay, well, your prayers have not been heard. You still lose
Yeah,
karma.
probably because I took the goblet.
Yeah.
Shit.
So please describe how you pray to Jacinda.
Yeah, that's a good question. How do they pray to Jacinda?
You can just you could just say it that she says it in her mind or something. It can be very simple. I don't really care. I just thought you wanted to do something.
Yeah, she's mumbling something and looks at the sky, and then she narrows her eyes, and then she shouts, "Silence! There's just silence? Why is there silence?"
Yeah. So you lose the karma, and in order to regain karma, I'm doing it the old way. So you have to go to the temple. It doesn't have to be a Cinda temple, but it is a bonus. Or do something, go to a shrine, or do something in a Hycindian way or something to regain it. So anyway, which is going to be great, because then I can make you do stupid stuff. So if you want to do stupid. Anyway, I'm just kidding. It doesn't work, sadly. So you're not closer to finding a weakness for the creature. But we're back. Now the creature comes and tries to attack you yet again. And let me see here. Because, I mean, right now you're the only visible target for him. And he's pissed. And, yep. He closes in his pincers, and he got your old leg in the lock of the pincers, and he bites towards it. And it does... Okay, so he does... he does 3 damage to you. And you have clothing, right? So that means take off 1 of the damage. So... And oh wait, no, he gets -1 to armor. So you take 3 damage.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah, it's a double attack, right? And you get another 3 damage. So you lose 6 in total, because it's like he grabs you and then pinces you.
Yeah.
So, and then you're in a lock, so every turn he can like pinch you further. It's like with other D&D monsters, similar, that have a attack like that. So it's like going through your legs, or your soft tissue, your soft old tissue. So yeah. Anyway, then we go back to the top, which is with you. Yeah.
Yes. So he's crouching. I mean, he's fear is coming. Is seeping into his into his muscles, into his mind. He can't really see what's going on, but he wants to use. I would like to use predicting. Can I use predicting to predict where I would have thought the animal's gone to? Also, the sounds of possibly is some wind.
Yes, sure. It's a skill.
Okay.
It's like you're trying to read old possibilities, basically. It's not a magical spell. It's just you're just trying to predict something.
Okay, so I'll roll 3 times, initiative twice, and then the other one is going to be charisma.
Yes, and you have. I don't know how much you have. What do you have in predicting? What is your number there?
For which one, sorry?
Predicting. It should be in the last skill.
Absolute. Predicting is absolute 0.
0. So you don't get bonuses, but you don't get negatives. Okay, so whatever you roll, you roll.
Okay, first one was a 12 for intuition, and my intuition is 8. That means I shouldn't even have rolled the rest.
Yeah. You have no idea. You tried to predict something, but you have, at the moment, too much shit is going on right now.
Absolutely. I have a question then.
I will allow you to attack if you wish, because this was like just it's something minor, so it's not a full action, I'd say.
That's okay. My question was because I thought the creature was outside of the mist anyway, and I'm
yes.
inside. But
yes.
my question was in a situation like this, would I, if I wanted to move randomly then, because I don't see any, but how would you do like random way out? He makes
okay, easy. I'll say that D4, and then I'd say 1 is north, 2 is south, 3 is east, and then 4 is west.
Super. And he moves
so 1 north. You're going north direction, so right in front of you.
Absolutely.
So as you walk out, you see the mist isn't that big after all, and you're outside, and you can see the bug has Kuzira, the old priestess, in a lock.
Next round, he's heading directly down.
Yeah, I actually, it's pretty close. So you had a move action. I'll be nice. You can still attack. I'll allow that.
So yeah, with this stone dagger, he just tries to like come down on the same side as where his spear was like sticking out.
You will get a bonus of 2 to your attack because the creature is now stationary. You know, he has her in the trap, and as you see with these bugs, when they bite down, they cannot really move. Really, you know, they have to let go.
So to hit, I just want to get this hit to hit again. I rolled a 5.
Yeah, it's your normal attack. If next to the dagger, there should be an attack bonus.
Yeah. Sorry, what's that?
So you rolled a 5. That is good.
Yeah. But I'm sorry. What is it? What's the lettering for the attack?
I'll tell you. Okay, look. When you go here, when you scroll down, you have your character sheet. Then you have your attributes, your hit points. Then you go down, and right next to your weapon, there should be AV.
AV.
Right? AV, PV. Okay, that's your attack value, and you have a parry value. And that's the number you have to roll or roll under.
Yeah. So he just like just beside where his spear was, he just like with 2 hands just like he tries to crunch the hard armor of this thing, and he does it's only a 1.
1, yeah, okay. Since the creature has, I believe, let me see here. The knife does 1d, right? Was it 1d plus 1 or something?
No, there's no plus at all. It's only
yeah, it's a simple knife. Yes. Okay. So no, you cannot. You go down with the knife, but you can see how thick the armor is. So you realize that's why the spear didn't go deep. It did penetrate, but it didn't go deep. It has this thick chitinous armor, you know. And you go down, and your knife deflects as it would be like a plate armor. Okay. Now we have Posey. You reach there, you can attack. Because Todor is gone for some reason.
Yeah. I run up. My face is all sweaty. My sword's dragging at my side, like sparks running off on the cobblestones. I heave it above my head, like a drop of sweat drops on my nose as my sword swings down.
Nice. Roll an attack. You have to roll. By the way, on your character sheet, you see an attack value and a parry value, and you see 2. With encumbrance, that's the one you want to roll.
With encumbrance.
So you have to roll a 7 or under. So.
Oh, good, because I rolled a 7. Good.
Very nice. So since, again, the creature is unable to parry or dodge because it's not moving, so roll 1d6 plus 5 is your damage.
Sure, you got it. That'll be 10 points of damage.
It will be 5 because he has his armor resistance. So it's like 1d. So It's
have you ever
it
seen
is a
like
giant
a
stag beetle, and they're
so,
fucking like kitten. You know.
so picture this.
Yes.
You see a big, delicious cherry pie. A woman comes over and cuts out a slice in the pie and just leaves the slice as she takes up the rest of the pie. And it has like that big, gooey cherry filling. And that's what we see inside this creature as Sir Hal slices into it.
Very nice. You feel very winded, by the way. So
Extremely
I
winded.
actually
After this, I like lean on my sword.
I want that you, because you're so fat and everything, I want you to roll a strength check, a normal strength check, to see if you
I think my
possibly
strength
pass
is
up.
12.
Okay, roll 12 or under.
Let
See
me
if
check.
you're stunned from that attack.
Strength is 12. Yeah. Okay. 14. Yeah. I'm stunned.
So you don't fall unconscious, but you can't attack. You gotta rest now. You ran all this way. You haven't run that much in a long time. You swung your big sword in your fucking full armor, and you gotta and you had a full meal. Okay, so you are full. You're sweating. So next turn you're stunned. Okay.
Like
So,
as I go to swing, like my pants rip right in the back.
yeah.
I reach around. You see like boxers with hearts on them. It's like,
Yes,
oh, right.
Say no to crack. Say no to butt crack. Yeah. Stop it. Get some help. Okay. So our boy toy, Harry, it's your turn.
What is the captain of the guard doing, if anything?
The captain of the guard, you could hear them. They're fighting against the bear and maybe even the stink dragon. So they have their hands full at the moment.
All right. So he didn't just freeze. That's good.
It's actually a nice theory, but you could, he, as far as you know, he went to fight with the other ones. You can hear noises of the guards like shouting, yelling, and combat noises, and a big growling of the bear and the tatzelworm worm.
Cool. Are there lanterns or torches or any
Yes,
sort of...
there's all kinds of street lanterns and some torches to illuminate, because the party was still going on. So
when all spells fail, grab a torch. So
that's true.
I'm try to get some fire weapon to...
Okay. That will be an improvised club with some possible, you could maybe set it to fire. So do a normal attack. Let's say, what is your club attack? Let me see here.
7, I
think club, anybody can use a club pretty much. I think it's like in the game, anybody can use anything, but some people can use some things better. So what is at the combat skills? It should say like clubs and maces and whatever.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Good thing it's not a chain weapon.
No, chain weapon is like a flail or a nunchuck.
Weapons, maybe?
What?
Would it be blunt weapons or spears?
Yeah, blunt weapons. Yeah, blunt weapons.
All right, so that's a 1.
So you rolled a 1?
No, but my skill in blunt weapons is a 1.
Okay, so your attack would be a 1. Like,
so
okay.
You roll a 1.
You know what? I'll be nice. Just do your basic attack. It should be on the top. There should be a basic attack. Like the torch will probably break, but you can have an attack.
I'm not so much trying to do damage to it because I know it's got armor that.
But you want to try to set it on fire. Yeah, I get you.
Get it to let go of the priestess so she can run away.
Yeah. So AV base on the top.
Yeah,
right next level.
I can't do anything. I rolled a 14. I'm swinging it around valiantly, though.
You swing it like an idiot, like anybody who's like a master at clubs would be like an ace of clubs, if you know what I mean. Anyway, so Kusira, it's your turn. The creature not letting go of you. Micah?
Sorry, I was under the table. Yeah, seeing my toy boy defending me, I get the courage to smash that beetle over its head with my stick.
Nice.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's see.
It should be there, and right next to the attack values. Do the one with BE Behinderung.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it should be there, right under the armor, and then it should be there Waffe.
All right. Yeah. Okay.
Comes up.
I only succeeded in 2 then. No, hang on. That's the wrong skill.
Yeah, on the top, on the first page, there should be Waffe,
Yeah.
and then there should be Attacke,
Uh-huh.
and then mit BE. So you get a -1 because you have clothing.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that's only 1 die. Oh, okay. Yeah, 16 on the die, so
How much did you had?
in the skill?
Yeah.
6 and yeah, well, -1 to 5.
It's not your attack value though.
What is my attack value then?
It should be next to your weapon on the first page, and then attack.
Oh, the KK or what?
No. Forget the KK. Then there's the next. Then there's the AT and the
Yeah.
PA, right? So the
Yeah.
AT.
Yeah,
What's the
that's
AT?
what I told you.
So you missed. Okay.
Yeah.
You're in really big pain, and you have a hard time hitting it.
Oh.
Because I would have given you a bonus if it would have, like a small bonus if it would have helped you. Because you are really close. Obviously, it's holding you. But anyway, so creature will try to continue to bite you. And since it's already holding you, let me see here. Okay, it succeeded. And it does 5 damage.
Yay.
Just the blood is coming out of your leg. You know, it's hurting like hell. You know, it's like that stinging sensation you have at times, especially in your head when these stupid people like at the dinner are talking to you. But now it's in your leg. So, okay, so we're back at the top with yep. Ian.
So if it's not possible, it's not. But he sees how useless this is. He actually drops his knife as it again just like slides down the side of this hard armor.
Yeah.
And he's trying to just reach out and grab the spear that's in.
It's easy. That's fine. I won't even make you roll. You can take it out because it's not moving. He's just holding her and trying to just push in more and more. You know. So you can take out the spear. It is not as deep. You don't have to roll for it. You know.
Really great. So he just takes it out and just like stabs it back into the huge cut that
I will actually give you a bonus of 3 because I like this idea. You could actually just push it into it, and you get I'll give you a bonus of 4.
Super. So he had rolled a 5.
Because really, you're just pushing it into it deeper.
Absolutely, and just like puts his weight into it.
Yeah, just roll damage, and you get. Actually, now it's past its armor too, so whatever you roll with the bonus, you get it.
Yeah, got it. So he got that's 8 total. That's 6 plus 2.
It's 8 total.
Yeah.
This creature screeches and lets go of the lady, and now it's focusing on you, and it's like. Anyway. And yeah, so that was your turn. Nice job. And you have the spear in your hand again. So, and now it is, yep. Philip, you're winded. Please role play your windedness.
Actually, I gotta let you know that I've actually got to get going, man. It's running a little bit late for me.
Okay, yeah, it took longer than I thought. You know what? I say you fall unconscious. It was too much for you.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, guys. I'll see you guys later. Okay?
Bye. So our brave knight, has fallen unconscious. Yeah, it took longer than I thought. Jeez. Oh well. But we'll finish here. I just want to. We could finish the fight still. I think. Yeah. Let's still continue. I have a way to do Deus Ex Machina this to speed it up. But I want everyone who's here. Otola is left. Everyone is leaving. Okay, but our boy toy, our not charlatan. It's your turn. Todor is following the dwarf. He's running after the dwarf. That's why you can't see him. And
right. So I still got the torch. I'm
you still got the
in front of
torch.
this creature, trying to drive it back toward the cages.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You know what? I'll be nice. Roll just a simple attack, and you get a bonus of 3.
I rolled a 3. Hooray!
Okay, so it is going back. Definitely, that's real fire. We'll just say that. And wait, I'll let Micah. You want to do an action? You want to attack or?
Yeah, I want to hit it at least once.
Yeah.
See.
Since it is being driven back by the fire. I will give you a bonus of 3 too.
Oh, then I hit.
Nice.
Right
okay.
on the dot.
And I'll see if he can try to dodge because he's free now. Let me see here. He doesn't have a really good dodge, I think. Not very mobile. Attack. Yeah, okay. Nope, not at all. Do your damage.
5.
You know what? His armor is 5. However, I'll be nice. And what you do like a stabbing kind of hit into the wound. So it passes its armor. So it does 5 damage. Okay? And since it's gone long enough, I'll do my little Deus Ex Machina, and the guards come, and together you can kill the creature. Okay? You're heralded as great heroes, and you're invited to a big party and a celebration. Amazingly, some people got injured, but nobody got killed. The stink dragon was wounded, and with some trickery, it was chased out into the wild, and the bear was killed with some poisoned arrows or something. And but it could have been much worse if you wouldn't have helped, you know. So you're heralded as great heroes. The drunken, passed out warrior is brought back, and we will continue this if you guys wish. If you like the game, you are invited by the Count of Gratenfels for an audience tomorrow. It's a great honor, and you're taken now to the tavern, where you get lots of free drinks, and they will party with you and herald you as the heroes of Gratenfels. Okay, the Slayer
for free.
For free, yes, for free. Slayer of the Stag Beetle. And if you guys wish, I hope you liked it. We can maybe continue this if you wish. I know it has been rough. I haven't ran this in a long time. Didn't have as much as preparation, but I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope if anybody was watching this or will watch this, they enjoyed it. So yeah. Any final words from the last one standing?
His Zinda is a backstabber.
Well, I'm glad the guard came along. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Ian, any final words?
Yeah, final words. Just thanks, man. That's great to try this system. It's the first time ever.
Yes, it's the 3rd edition. So I do want to run the 5th edition, which has an English version, so it makes it a little bit easier with the translation. And it has also legally free quick start rules, but it's a bit more complex. I like this old school system. It still has some crunchiness. I haven't implemented all the rules because I haven't ran this in a while, and there's some rules I didn't like. I always house ruled out. But anyway, thank you for being here, guys. This was great. I had a full party. It was awesome. And yeah. Anyway, I'll stop the recording here. So bye-bye.